2 o'clock. Welcome back. We are set and ready to take you through a pretty exciting afternoon of positivity, I guess is the best word. Right to the upside for all U.S. markets right now. 2.6. We're at day highs, in fact, for both the S&P and the NASDAQ. 2.6% right now for the NASDAQ. S&P 1.5, 1.3 for the Dow. So it's been rally mode all day long. Other than this one, yeah, natural gas popping off. Crude oil, not so much, 3% to the downside for crude. Really wasn't any headlines for that natural gas move other than some inventory data that came through and more demand expected, obviously, as we head into colder weather. Bitcoin, 1.8, 0.5% for Ethereum. Great to see both of those back in positive territory. Much more green on this board to kick off the afternoon, unless you are Match.com. Not a good day for Match. 17% still to the downside, even though it is starting to rebound. Meta on here, almost 5%. Warner Brothers with a note today as well. Yeah, there's energy. All the oil producers getting hit this afternoon to the downside. But look at this board otherwise. Really nicely positive, including the tech sector. PayPal leading. PayPal's up 9.5%. On that Elliott management note, we'll talk about their earnings coming up here as well. SEDG to the downside, AMD Enphase to the downside. Everything else, though, very, very positive, including Moderna having a 16% kind of day. A lot of big movers, as we typically get throughout earnings season. Hope your afternoon is going well. It's been a busy, busy day. We'll jump right into what we were talking about this morning. And were there so many opportunities to catch a trade on at the open this morning. Sean's here. He's going to lead the way with an impressive one, to say the least. Here comes Sean with SoFi.
Oh, gee golly, Brendan, thank you so much. Today's trade brought to you by Daytrade the World, the world's leading day trading company. Check them out at that website below. Hit that. We have the QR code up. Yes, we do. Yeah, look, today, man, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We put it on the sticky note. It also had a star on the sticky note. It's going to be SoFi. Shout out to Anthony Noto. Better earnings release, plus we get a raise. Look what I even put here. Looking at $7.25 to $8, right? We talked about it right in here. Look at yesterday. Yesterday, the name here, Uber. We had Uber with their best quarter ever, followed by SoFi with their best quarter ever. Yesterday, we had Uber up 20-something%. So we sort of thought today, when we came in and SoFi was very, very similar to Uber at producing a great quarter. So we looked for a nice little run up. We even tell you right here, long $7.25 and watch out for $8. So let's close this if we can, Neil, and then we'll look at the chart here of what we exactly did today. So it's going to look nuts because, again, we have direct market access here at Daytrade the World. So very, very easy for me to get in and out of trades, right? But this is what we did as soon as we logged in today. Look at this $7 level, right? So that's the $7 level. We go over here on the daily chart, and we're going to see this is really why I liked it. So you have these tops coming out a couple weeks ago back to $7 with a couple wicks up to $7.20 and so on and so forth. But the main point that I was trying to get at here on this trade was that we were breaking above that $7 mark. And then that was going to be some kind of a support, maybe a little bit lower if we did dip down, not to 650. We don't want to go that low, but maybe a dime lower, something like that, just in case we were wrong. So I feel like the 7 long was going to be something that we wanted to hold. And look, trading is about taking risks, looking at charts, understanding what you're trying to play, and today we knew we wanted the long, so let's flip over to our executions. And I mean, right here, these are all longs. All the greens are longs and all the reds are outs. But, you know, we did put on a big position because we told you that this was the #1 idea that we had. So we wanted to put on enough shares so that we could make our day if and when this happens. And that's exactly what wound up happening. So we put on some longs here numerous times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longs. But look what happens early. So this is the interesting thing. So we get long here around $7, 7.05, something like that. Then we get some 7.10s, and we wind up getting some 7.15s. So we get those all out around 25 or 30. Then the market opens up, and we really blow up to the upside. We actually go almost to 7.50, which is where we start going tick, 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 tick. There's a bunch of ticks to get out here on the way up. We're like, this is great. But we still did call $8. So we still think that $8 could come into play. Why $8 again? If you kind of see where this is, we had some consolidation back in this area here. So I was thinking that maybe on a pipe dream, maybe we do get to $8 if we can break through that 760, 770 level. But then boom, there it goes. It comes all the way back down. This was a little scary, to be honest with you. But hey, we had our plan and we stuck to it. Remember what I said pre-market? We are going to give this a little bit below $7. So when this comes back in, remember it goes to 750, then tanks back down in. We get 711s, then we get 705. 25s, and then it's like, I don't know what happened, but then booster juices started coming into this name, put on the rockets, let's go to the upside, lots of buy volume, boom, and then it just takes off. And then as it's taking off, we're just piecing it out over and over and over again, just out, 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 you know, like 2% of our shares, 3%, whatever, just take it all the way to the upside. Then all of a sudden it gets to $8, right? So we're getting it out here. No reloads. We could have reloaded there at 770, but again, we still had enough shares. The funny thing about it is you see this tick down right there, this wick that goes all the way down actually triggered a stop order of mine. So unfortunately, at that time, we did get out of the majority of the shares that we had left. So that kind of sucked. So there's no more outs in here because we didn't have as many shares left as we had wanted to. Then it comes up to $8 and we actually get out now at $8. And we're like, yes, we did that 7.25 to 8 exactly as was on the sticky note. And then we just got short a little bit. We got in and out a little bit in there. Then eventually we hold the long, and we still are a piece long right now on SoFi. And then we go back in the long at $8, take it all the way up to 8.30, get some more out in here, 8.30 again, takes them out when we break the 50 period, and we're still in this up to 8.19. So again, look, we made the call. You saw the sticky note. We made the call at $7. Why? Because we just felt like this was their best quarter ever. It was a big move up. We saw what the market did to stocks like Uber. We're going to see Upstart. There's lots of names that have run off of earnings. Upstart coming, so I think that could be the next one. But you're just going to see Roblox, a lot of these names that were beat down have gotten their wings behind them once they show you something to believe in. So SoFi is one of those names, and today we picked the bottom and we boom it to the upside. For me, I mean, it was the star beside the sticky note. I had, my focus was on there the whole morning. We only had like 1 or 2 positions until about like 10 o'clock. It was SoFi, and I believe it might have been Amazon or something else. But anyways, it's SoFi, and it's your trade of the day.
What a move for SoFi. What a move for a few of these names, as we've been saying, that have been beaten down so badly over the past few months, including PayPal. Just a monster today as well. We'll talk about PayPal off that. Very interesting report, both of which were on that this morning. That is the watch list. Make sure you grab that every single day before we come on, guys. We send it out for free at 8:30. Wanted to show you this real quick before we get into anything. This is the 10-year. So I mentioned there was a huge spike back to 285 this morning off that ISM non-manufacturing number that we got at 10 o'clock. But look at this. We're right back to lows. So all the way back and then some for the 10-year right now. 2-year not following suit, though. It's still high. AMD was on the watch list this morning, top of the list, in fact, off of that report. Maybe it wasn't top of the list. I think PayPal was top of the list. AMD was on there, trust me. The forecast was the issue for AMD. Everything else, though, yeah, just monstrous numbers in this report. Revenue was $6.7 billion, plus or minus 200 in cost. But their forecast going forward for Q3, a bit light, and they pointed specifically to slowing PC sales.
The old Intel excuse, right? Like
Slowing PC sales.
we said this morning, like Intel told you, like that's our concern, and that's why they guided poorly. So it shouldn't have been too much of a surprise. They're still down on the day, but the problem with looking at percent up or down, and why I always add a column in my chart, which on my quote board, which tells you how the stock performed since the open, is it's deceiving. Because if you just look at where we were at the open, I mean, all AMD did is go up, hold a higher low, and then try to get back toward the top. So it's been bullish. Since we've been trading, or since the market's been open here, and that's what you got to look at. This is like the 99 top, yesterday's previous support area, now trying to put in a lower high. It does feel like there's some profit taking, and a lot of times it's not just about the guidance, it's also where it came from. Like it was up so much, and we had talked about this in the afternoon yesterday about how it had moved so far to the upside that there's any sign of weakness, people want to take some profit. I actually favored Nvidia today to trade, which it's been frustrating because it was so easy to the long on Monday, because today's Wednesday. The long on Monday was so easy through 183. It was just clean, like it broke that price, you got in, you couldn't lose. Maybe a little bit more of a challenge yesterday, but relatively clean. And then it was a little more choppy here, but it was the same result. And I just kept trying to get in, have too tight a stop, then take a breakout, have too tight a stop, and now you're right back at the highs. It feels like the market's making a top. So I am in a few longs from earlier that we've had at lunchtime, but I am looking for, like right now I'm favoring Nvidia just because you had a failed break of 188, got up to 189 yesterday, now the high is off of 188. So I just figure it's struggling at some of these levels, and I want to try this to the short side. And it is extended a bit here, and the market's consolidating at the top. Like something for a pullback trade. That's why I'm favoring Nvidia, what I traded this morning.
Yeah, so I mean, I liked AMD. We talked about that off the 93 level. I have Amazon up right now. Hold on a second. Let me go over to AMD. Yeah, so we talked about that on the sticky note today over here at $93. Unfortunately, that was here when I wrote the note, but gone went after, and it just kept going straight to the upside. We actually had a very good trade breaking 98 bucks up here somewhere when that happened. So that's going to turn out to be a great one for me. And then we got long. We actually made some money in the longs, but over the last, I don't know. I mean, look how many executions I have. I have over 153 fills now on AMD, and we just went more short here right now. And what we're trying to do is these are all shorts into this level. So it's still down on the day. I believe in the name, and I really like AMD. It's not that I want to fight the short here. It's just I feel like that run up in the morning was just so huge that it went from 94 all the way to 98. Good quarter, fine, but great quarter? I mean, they still guided lower. I don't feel like, and I'm letting my bias come into effect too much here, because yesterday on Microsoft, I really didn't believe that move either, and that kept going, and you could see today as well, Microsoft continuing to extend it. So AMD has been a favorite long of mine, but the thing is that when you look at the chart, when I see this up here near this 99, $100 mark, I just feel like this is a short, especially coming into, what has been. I mean, here's the level right here, 98. So we really haven't gotten through that. So I don't feel bad about, trying to short this name. If it's going to run us over, it's going to run us over, and we'll get out. But I mean, this is the 20-minute chart. We've been up here before. This was August 1st. So just a couple days ago, and we fell off to there, went to 95. Then we had that crazy day where we broke 100. Then all the way back down in there on the 2nd, which was yesterday. A nice move up here today. So it's just kind of like a roller coaster here. Let's just see if it does want to break it. I mean, that's really the whole thing. Doesn't want to break 98 and keep going. So there we go. We just get our last fill right now. And there it is. So actually, we just got it right now. Why isn't this pushing over there? There it is. So, if we break above, I don't want to hold it too much above this 98 level right now, but I want to try the short one more time, see if it does pull back. The pullbacks, if I take off all these executions, then you'll see here what I'm talking about. The pullbacks off of 98 have actually been pretty good. You get this pullback from 98 all the way down here to 97.30, another pullback right there from 97. And I was telling Neil too, because I went to put on my makeup. I was like, what? I'm out of this thing? Yeah, we wear makeup, by the way. There we go, it's out. We talked about that before.
No, they know.
Oh, it's something called primer. I have no idea what that is.
You put it on
first.
You can see the shine on my head still.
Yeah.
Ah, well, whatever.
Yeah, well. And then we put on, I don't know, I could ask Steph. What's the stuff that we put on, Stephanie, after the primer? What's that stuff called?
After the
Yeah. Foundation.
I didn't know that.
If my wife was watching, she'd be like, what the hell? Foundation right there. But anyways, okay, let's move on. We have to do some trading apparently here. So yeah, foundation, that's the word I was looking for. But I have no idea what I'm talking about now, but it was this wick tops. So every time it broke through 98, I got stopped out every single time through 98 because I had too many shares. I went up there to do that trade of the day, yada, 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 all excuses, that's all that they are. And the bottom line was we got wicked out, right? And so that was what that was. Let's see if it happens again. I'm gonna give it another shot here at $98. I do realize it's strong and I do realize it's AMD, but at the same time, I think just based on what I'm seeing here, I think the risk to reward on getting short here at 98, trying to hold it back to the 50 period. Look at this, thing's loved this 50 period, right, since lunchtime. So if it pulls back anywhere, even to 97.60, 97.50, something like that, we should respect it. So we've been doing fine on it. It's just, it has taken out some of those tops and wound up killing us a little bit here today. So AMD, got to respect these tops. It looks like it's trying to go again. So we will get out if it goes, man. This market, I don't know, like another 3% on the NASDAQ. It's definitely barcoding, but that doesn't mean anything for some of these stocks that are strong. So they'll just take this out. So we'll have to wait to see here. But I like the AMD short, and don't shoot the messenger. I do have it out if we do pop above that 98.
Yeah, no pullback yet. Just consolidating at the highs. A few people still talking about this natural gas move. Absolutely crazy. It was 11% at the highs there for natural gas futures, and doesn't seem to be a reason why. Just a random run up here on heavy volume for natural gas. So Boyle is one of the ETFs. There's a bunch of natural gas ETFs still popping up on decent volume, starting to go once again. In fact, let's discuss very quickly here because, I mean, it did bounce back, but Airbnb, guys, bounced off of lows that we saw early in the morning, but kind of struggling here where it is right now. Another decent report, but again, it was the forecast that was a problem.
It was, but it was that whole cherry pick thing, man. I thought the report overall, it had one line that was bad, and it got beaten up for that. And you just let the price action dictate. As far as I was concerned, I had two channels to play off of on Airbnb. One of them was 105 for support if it got dumped. I wanted to be a buyer, and I wanted the long off. It was a channel at 110 into 111. So you go like where resistance was in the afternoon, the pre-market high. I wanted to see it in there. So I didn't take the breakout, but when it pulled, so it broke out at 10, and then it gave you the trade right to like 113 at the open, but it pulls right back into that channel, 110 to 111. We're able to get a couple of fills down on the bid, take some out as it's trying to break out 111 just in case it sits sideways a bit, which it did not. And then it went right up to that 115 target, pulled back, and I trailed out. So, I mean, it's right back to where it was. I suppose there was a rinse and repeat as I just got into Nvidia short, and this could be the shortest offensive of all time. I guess defensive if I'm short, is it might take out that high. But there was probably a rinse and repeat off that same level. It just needed to test lower. And this is the problem when things are pulling back. You have to be so patient because it pulls right back into the target range, breaks 110, looks like, okay, we're just giving up on it. It did not have the move we wanted in the range. And then suddenly we reclaim the highs, and then you're right back barcoding in the middle, and then the same long from earlier, and you had to wait right till after 11 o'clock. And you know, I got up from my desk, went to the bathroom, wasn't paying attention to this. And then you see it starts to go again. The volume didn't really kick in that much, but it's enough volume at lunchtime to get back to the highs. I don't see much of a trade here. It feels the market's getting a little bit top heavy unless you're staring. You know what? We're about to break the high in the NASDAQ, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sitting there saying that. Like, actually, for a second, I thought, like, Amazon was slowing down. I'm in that long. And I thought that was starting to slow, and all of a sudden you're taking out highs. But Airbnb doesn't feel as strong as everything else at this point. Like, it's sliding away as the market's making tops in both the S&P and the NASDAQ. The volume is dwindling down. It's still red by 2% as well. So this might be done, like your trade was this morning and maybe getting back in at lunchtime off the same levels. I wouldn't try it now. And as we're taking out some highs, maybe I should try to get some profit if I can catch any on Nvidia short.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking right here at the AMD short that we have on right now, short at 80s. It's at 95, so I don't know if that's gonna work out well for us here today. But yeah, I mean, Airbnb, a great name. I really like that name for like future investments and stuff like that. But obviously today, you know, had a great opportunity early to get some shares. Okay, so we just punched in. So we are going to probably get taken out of AMD soon, but we are back into PayPal right now. So let's go this. We're actually up on PayPal today. We've done a couple decent trades on this name. Actually, just one. Actually, we're talking about a couple decent. I think no, yeah, okay. We traded early. We had this great short early, so we had some longs that paid off for sure. Then we flipped over to short once we realized that it was a short. This PayPal short right here, it was a killer, man. I mean, this was short. Where's my... Oh my God, I gotta just really fix these charts since I did that trade of the day there. Okay, there it is right there. So this PayPal short was $100.50 or so. That out right there is $98.20. So that was good. That was about $2.30 or so on that play right now. But as you can see, we are now above. So there goes our AMD. We are now out of that trade, and we'll see if this one can rip up to the high side right now. But PayPal just trying to take out these levels. I like this take through $98.25. Obviously, it's late to the party. Would have liked to have it down here. But if this market's going to continue to go to highs, I like PayPal today. So we'll take that. We'll see if it can climb back to, you know, VWAP would be 99.60. That could be coming into play at some point. But right now, I like this name. This bottom here, 97.50. So something to look at for sure. But let's wait to see what happens with PayPal as we just flip over to the long now. Finally long here on AMD. Let's see if now it can take out those highs. I mean, I'd hate to be in this name as it falls back in again, but whipsaw action right now. But look at the NASDAQ. There it is. It's finally breaking out, like we said, regardless of what you think about the stocks, the NASDAQ is going. So flipping long, I can't hate on any decisions like that. I think it's going to look like it's the right one, and there goes AMD right now off of that flip. But I mean, again, there it goes, stopping at 98.20. So yeah, it's going to be a fun afternoon, and you're in the right spot if you want to see some trades because I'm about to go parabolic here.
The board there, I'll show you the headline in a second here, but surprise, surprise, HSDT halted again to the downside this time, just reopened once again, but about the 9th or so halt for HSDT this morning. Yeah, it was Elliott's $2 billion stake in PayPal That was the big story that came out in this jam-packed earnings report, if you will. They also announced a share buyback program, more cost-cutting measures. There was a ton. Decent report, though, for PayPal, but fading off, as we saw. SoFi, let's get SoFi here. We kick things off with SoFi, but their report also better than expected. Another one trying to break out of this recent, I don't know, decline, I guess is a good word.
You're going to have to take this.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a decline. You just bounced off the 50. I like the same, probably similar levels to what Sean would have liked. I was looking for the dip buy because the last time SoFi looked like it was going to go, I remember vividly having it off the top.
Why isn't PayPal
and then
going?
it was just a dip buy the whole way there, by the way. So, I grabbed and only started in front of 7 even. I was willing to play it back into 685. It never happened for me. We only got like 710s there. We did take some out going to 740 and then just held for that $8 pullback. And then I just couldn't get back in. I wanted 740s, 750s where it consolidated. The first time I never even did it. Every single pullback has come short. And at this point, like you're thinking, what, 850? Can you short the stock? I don't even know if you can. But it's been an absolute monster of a run. And look, 28% is amazing. It's always worth remembering, like on a relative basis where it came from, it double topped at 25 late last year. So yes, we're $2 back then. That's nothing. If you're holding this for a long time, it's not much of a move. But if you're in at these bottoms, this is what a bear market gives you: is big, huge percentage bounces, which don't really do anything on the long term. And taking advantage of them when they can consolidate like this does make a heck of a lot of sense. And there's a few names that are kind of going sideways that might start giving us shots. I got out of Nvidia, by the way, and I'll show it to you, and did not reverse. And look, the reason I can't reverse along up here because yesterday's high, it's just, you're going to get to this top, and I feel like it's overhead resistance. The triple top on Nvidia, I shorted the lower high. The only longs I have are AMC, Amazon, which we did go over. Actually, no, we did not go over Amazon. Apologies. Amazon broke out its 138, 139 triple top. It's been a play all the way into 140. That's my 15-minute. I'll show you on the 3 just a little bit more cleanly. Took out the high of the day. It ran into 139.5. Managed to hold it up until 140s. I then tried to short at 140 off huge size on the offer, reversed it to long and reloaded one time. That's what I'm sitting in right now. So some longs that we've been playing, but the last entry up here was off of the 140 breakout here for Amazon. Super strong market that continues to crush it.
All right, since we're talking about PayPal here, so PayPal's not going, so I'm going to get out if it breaks back below 98. But I mean, since you guys were just talking there, we went long on AMD, and really now it's really starting to go. So let's go AMD back up to the upside there right now. But we did, like I said, look, we did get out. It started to go back up to the upside there on that break, and then for some reason PayPal just not following the market. So again, a break of 98, and we'll get out of PayPal. Could possibly be wrong on that one. And then right here on Meta, we take this long through, breaking through 168, just hammered that one there as well. So that's why I had to take a step away there. Let's see if we can keep going up. Let's go AMD right now into the 50 area. This is perfect, baby. Let's go. So we reverse into that long now on AMD Advanced Micro. So we're just hitting keys now like madman, trying to get out of more and more of these shares. That's how I trade. So we'll see. Should have been a little more patient and let this guy ride, but we could do that now. See if we can get a 49, then we'll watch and see what happens here at 50 with off of it. There it is, off of a decent level now. So let's see what happens here at 50 for AMD as it continues to fly. I see the super chat there, KSPN. I'll have to look at that after, maybe Neil will. But yeah, it looks like right now, damn it, we will give back. We were up pretty decently on PayPal right now. We'll go back to flat, or go back to red on the name here as PayPal coming back in, breaking through 90. There it is. So breaking through 98. So on that one, we'll flush ourselves down the toilet as we took a shot there, thinking that it could go with the market. It didn't. So I don't know, but that was a risk there. Shouldn't have probably not taken it, but it's a 25-cent hit on only half the position because we got out half almost. So that long was 27. As soon as it didn't go and when the market went, I got out of half right there at 21. So it's like a 5%, let's say it's like 6-7 cent hit right there. And then we do get back that 30 right now. We're holding on a small piece, but nothing that's going to make a big difference. And that was a decent out up there, obviously at 50 a couple times, couple outs there on 50 for AMD. So let's see if it can continue to climb. But hey, wow, that was exciting. That was an exciting little 10 minutes there for me as the market started dancing around.
Yeah, I mean, the break of the high there was pretty intense. Like, we had consolidated on the NASDAQ for a good, like 15, 20, no, longer than that. For like an hour, we're in a range. I look at my 15-minute chart, I'm like, no, that's easily too much. But thank you so much. It's Jose again. Jose with the super chat asking about KSPN. Do I think it hits $8? Maybe not necessarily today. The volume's going down a little bit, but it's a 1.5 million float with a 17% short interest. So it's in that bucket where when you have a day one move and you hold higher lows, you just ask yourself if it can make a secondary push. Like, is it done on the day? And this is what I mean by it being a day one move. It was doing absolutely nothing, breakout, small float, short interest. It's just one of these breakers. And if you're looking for like, how do you find the next one? Maybe if you have like a scanner setup, you find something which has that low flow, you scan for symbols like that. Look for a very tight consolidation off a bottom. This had a $3 break, and it actually broke out at about 10 o'clock or so. So you break out at 3, and if you got that price, you should be letting it ride because maybe 450, that's still 50% return. You can have a trailing stop in there at 4.5. Always give yourself a chance at more upside. You would have to take out a pretty decent top here. We're about 10-15% away from the highs. So to get there without volume is a little bit tricky. Market is very strong, and sometimes when you get a big, strong push in the overall market, some of the low float names can start to slow down because it's the big boys starting to carry things a little bit. So if you get too much of that, there can be some profit taking. I'm experiencing that with AMC right now as just this name, pretty good all morning long. Like I've had multiple longs, but the latest long was the 18 break. Like I was long a 1780 breakout. We had a bit of a long buying a dip there at 1750, got that all out on the way to 18. So there's been several trades in here, but if you see what's actually going on, the 18 break, it checked back into like 1798 at first, comes back up, Tesla high, take a little bit out, thinking, okay, if we can actually reload off 85s, that may make a little bit more sense. So that's all I'm doing here over in AMC, as this looks like it's slowing down. Up 7%, the trend is good, but just running out of steam volume-wise.
Oh man, my dumb ass is back into PayPal right now. So let's see. I guess you should say, like, if you talk more positively, maybe more positive things will happen. But I feel like I don't want to chase the dream on this, so we'll see there. We take them out at 12. We pushed the long here on PayPal one more time just to see if we did get bottom wicked there. I don't think so because there's so many wicks here that I don't think it really matters. I feel like PayPal doesn't really know what it wants to do, but I want to be part of it if it decides to go back upside. I mean, I know it's up 10% again today, but I'm going to try it one more time to see what happens. You got some lower bottoms here that you can hold out for. This is 97.75 there, so that could be something as well if you did want to have a quick look. But again, this is not going to be something that we just get crushed on. We're just going to try it just in case. I mean, the market is dancing around. We just made new highs, and then the last 4 minutes has been ticking lower. So let's just do a quick likes call for everybody out there. We're starting up the new show now. So I think they got almost 3,000. We got 3,000 likes for the morning show plus the afternoon show. My voice is still shot, but if you guys can hit the like button, that would be fantastic. Thank you for the super chat, man. A couple good super chats coming through there. I think you addressed one of them. Yeah, Jose, do you think ESPN? Yeah, you did that already. And then shout out to Brendan for NVO real time. Hit his 3K daily goal, and also a shout out for all the talent here. So thank you so much to Tokyo Golfer. Yeah, wow, golfing. I'd rather not talk about that because I need to get back on the links ASAP. I've only been like 3 times this year, or twice or something like that. It's pretty pathetic.
Cry me a river, man.
But I've just been so busy. Every weekend, every day. Like tonight, I got to coach. Now I got to coach the not the select, not the rep team, the house league team tonight. So I mean, it's like every night.
Hey man, you got 3 kids.
Busy. Yeah.
I got 1 kid, and it's like 3 out of the 5 weekdays are just like it's over.
Yeah.
Like Greg's like, come over for get some of this jerk chicken, because Greg, floor manager, made some jerk chicken yesterday. Didn't bring us any. So he said, well, if you come over, you can have some. Otherwise, I'll bring it. I'm like, nope. It's swimming night tonight. Wednesday, I had to think about that for a second. But you get busy, which is fine. I just can't golf because of my back. That just sucks. But Coinbase doesn't suck. Coinbase today for the last few weeks doesn't suck. Been an unbelievable runner, 19% today. And the only thing that went well is like absolute patience with Coinbase was the only way to play, because I didn't have that breakout. And I know we talked about this yesterday. off of like, I think it was like the 70 level, 70, 71 was one of the breaks. That's exactly what happened. It took out the top, it never stopped, and then you go to the daily. Once it was past 79.80, just had this 83 high, and it got to 82.26, which is right into that channel, waited for it. I did have the 80 short in front, stopped out. I had to manually punch out because it was so fast that it actually missed my stop, and I had to manually punch out of it. So I did grab the short here, but the trend, while semi-breaking, you're now sitting there barcoding at 80 even on Coinbase. Like if it fails this 80, you could see this pull back into VWAP, but it just does not want to fall. Like it was one shot when it made that top and everyone started taking profit. It then still managed to hold up above this 77. So super strong name here. I keep telling myself like Amazon feels like it's about to roll over a little bit. And it's like, okay, this last log is the high. And there's no way we want to be sitting into this too aggressively if it can't hold 140. So I'm gonna trail. It's not really a trailing stop because this will be close to break even anyways. I'm long at 12s, which is right here. Maybe give it to like 80s or 90s, nothing too deep, because at this point it does feel like we broke the high of the day. Amazon did not retake its high just now, and this all started at 134 yesterday, and then a 136 break this morning, and it's already been such an absolute banger the last couple of sessions. You just got to believe that at some point it's going to turn around. I don't want to get caught long everything at these highs. Lucid's pretty good, but remember they're going to be reporting after market today, I do believe. Make sure I get that one right. We'll double check. I'm like 99% sure that Lucid is aftermarket, and I should go over this one as well. Lucid, we were waiting all morning for this. We talked about it trying to get back above 20. So when it breaks 20, I want a high of the day break with a stop back at that 20 level. It broke. It was pretty clean to 20.50. I reloaded it at the same price, got out at the same range, and I'm holding for a test of a high of the day now. So if it breaks the top, I want to see if we can put a trail in on this. If there's big size there, or the momentum looks good in the volume, it might be a breakout trade at 20.50 as well, but I'll judge that when we actually get there, about 10 cents away on Lucid. Super strong. And speaking of EVs, and super strong. Actually, someone mentioned in the chat, and I apologize because I called it up, and I forget what we were doing at the time, but I was distracted. Tesla with a nice triple top here. This is like 929, sorry, 929, made a lower high barely by a couple of dollars, and then 929 again, so up 3%. Strong mover. If this takes out the high, I think this could drag Lucid up through that high of the day as well. So I am monitoring Tesla. I don't know if this is the one I want to add to, man. I'm kind of thinking about adding to Lucid on a break. Do I want to also go long Tesla through the top?
Yep.
This is the problem. Like, would I have wanted, like, I like the Nvidia short. Would I have put that and AMD on at the same time? Do I want Tesla and Lucid through the top at the same time? Probably not. So
That's what I'm dealing with.
Like, I'll stick with the same. Like, I'm already on Lucid. I'm watching it. I'll just stick to that one. Like, adding Tesla to it isn't really that necessary. And then you have the added catalyst of Lucid reporting aftermarket tonight, which I said I'd double check. I'll do that in a second. I'm pretty sure. We have our
We have it. It was up there.
It's on the board.
Because yesterday we had it wrong, and I'm pretty sure today we do have it right. So Lucid, ready to rock and roll. Okay, so AMD does go back up to this 98.42 level-ish, and we did take a little piece out there. PayPal's starting to try to go 98.07, whatever. We'll wait on that one. Meta, I mean, again, the market, I don't know. I mean, we're not even close to power hour yet, man. It's only 2:30, so the market still has a lot to go here, one way or the other. Obviously, it's up 3%, and generally, when you can have this, we can go to 4, and if we do, then I think that we're looking at some of the right names now on the show here. PayPal, I'm in. We're in Meta. We're in. I like that name. I like AMD today on that strength that it's been showing. We did short Amazon and wound up getting out right there, right just before we came on the air. So that was short we got short. Like, all these shorts have been fine. That one was in and there, out, and then in again and out when we broke 139.50. Shorted 139.50 again and waited for 140. Got that. Then all the way down there, out on Amazon. Then shorted it again right before we stepped on to the stage there for the trade of the day, and that was at 94 or so. I mean, look at the risk that we're taking here, guys. Like, that's a short 94 right at this level right here. Of course, I'm going to short that, right? So we short that into 40, and then as soon as it breaks 40, we get out. It looks like we got a 140.02 print, so can't complain about that. We take about an 8-9 cent hit there on those shares, so fine, and that way we don't have to hold it 40 cents against us, right? But The thing about it is, this name doesn't look super great for a short. Every time it broke through the 50 period, it bounced back up. So even if it breaks this right here at 140, maybe we go down to like 139.80 or something, and still doesn't look super attractive to me at that level. So maybe there's not much there for this on the short side of things. But I don't know, man. Amazon has been super, super strong, and I'm loving that because Amazon, again, as you guys know, I'm a big cap tech kind of guy in my investment portfolio. And I was saying to Neil today, I think the S&P is only now 13% off from its highs or something like that. So well done battling back. Anybody that was able to average down in, if you were able to, or if you're able to make money on that short. I mean, that was a pretty good tank down there to 3,400 or 3,500 on the S&P, and now you're all the way back to 4,170. But I'm hearing a lot of people calling like 4,200 maybe as a top. So that's why I'm not sure it's the best time to get new money.
I think we're going to have somewhere. I don't know if 4,200, but
or right there.
There's a lot of names that kind of got to levels that you kind of like. You look at some of the semis that like we're like the 100 on AMD exactly. And the Nvidia's top, and you just sort of say to yourself, well, if you got to another level of resistance and they all got there at the same time, maybe they're going to pull back. Speaking of pullbacks. First things first. Tesla, I should have mentioned this. Tesla's vote on the split is tomorrow. And thank you, Brendan. The shareholder meeting starts at 3:30 our time, so we'll be on. That doesn't necessarily mean we'll know about the split vote at that time. But the shareholder meeting's at 3:30. Should have mentioned that. I'll get to Fisker in a second because someone is asking about Fisker analysis, as they're apparently reporting too. But this QNRX, I got shaken out of this. Like it was an Allen Iverson kind of moment, right? Like it just... I was in the break at 11. It looked really good, and I had multiple outs there in front of 1150, but I probably had a few too many shares still left on. It then wick topped like it was about to break out and head to 12, and then they slammed it back down to 10 even. So as much as you're making here, you get right out, and then it ended up being the bottom. Halt bottom, and now it's breaking out again. It just resisted a halt at 12 even, and it's back toward these highs. This one might have a few legs in it here. It keeps on halting down or resisting halts down and then making fresh tops. Is that Brendan?
Oppenheimer, guys, just out with a note on Veru, which popped up there on volume. Yeah, Fahad's getting very excited here. 3% for Veru. They're going to, apparently, according to Oppenheimer, they're going to get emergency use authorization from Europe for their COVID treatment. So that was that pop.
So now Fahad can officially release that information because now it's public. So now that is right there, we just kid about that. But Veru, definitely a great stock. Let's have a quick look at it. As the market's trying to go back to the upside, I don't even want to look at my positions because I will get out of them. So that would be bad. 1250 for Veru. Great number, up to 1275 today on that name. So if you look at the 20-minute chart here, you've double topped, triple topped a couple times here. I guess it's just double, but it's multiple days. But right there, 1250 again over the last 2 days actually, but Veru's come down a bit from obviously where it was back there at 15. So what a great base this looks like at 1175. I would say if this thing pops, I mean, you get this into 1350, something like that, wouldn't be horrible there. And what does it look like on a daily chart? Maybe even a little bit better here. So there it is. Okay, so yeah, came all the way back in. Nice base though. Yeah, this is a good base, man. 1180, why not? That bottom down there at 1060. So yeah, I think getting long in and around here on possible news like Brendan just dropped there, getting approvals and so on and so forth. I mean, yeah, why not? There's not too many names that we feel like in this space. So a nice move up there for Veru. You may get, like I said, the 50 periods right there at 1350. So if this is going to pop, I would definitely watch out for 1350, maybe take something out. But this could be a runner in the aftermarket. It's only 3.5 million shares. So let's let sort of the market figure this one out.
Yeah, and just back to Fisker, I thought, want to make sure we got to this. This is not dissimilar from what I would have said about, and I guess what I did say about Lucid, right? Like same space, bouncing 50 period, already broke $10 even, but on the daily, you can see like the consolidation, like you're just kind of breaking the trend a little bit here, and then if you're able to take out this 1040. Oh man, there's a lot of these EV names like right at these highs. Like you look at this top, it did break 1040, got to 42s, but that's the level on the daily. If there was a little more acceleration here, I look at the volume and it's not a huge volume break, but it got to that level, pulled back, and now wants to retest it. I mean, you could fade into it, maybe like you try like going long 20s into 40s and grab some of that, thinking it's about to try to make a run at that high, or you just wait for it to take out the double top. That way you get a look at the volume. I can't add this to the list. Like I'm not taking a top break on Fisker and Lucid. It's the same reason I wouldn't take Tesla there. But yeah, I totally get it. Like if you're looking at these, pretty much the same kind of concept there, Brendan.
This may or may not affect the stock at all, but apparently Anthony Noto, speaking of SoFi, coming up on Fox in about 20 minutes or so. So it'll be on Fox Business.
Yeah, I gave him a shout out on the trade of the day there, Anthony Noto. So let's have a quick look to see what SoFi is doing right now. Of course, Anthony Noto, CEO of SoFi, going to come up there on CNBC, you said, or Fox Business? Oh, Fox Business. Okay. All right. So we have CNBC on behind us, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to necessarily be a pop. I mean, SoFi's already been popping all day. So, if SoFi was hanging out around, maybe it's not its bottoms, but something that I thought would be significant, maybe around here, 780, 770, something like that, then we would look at this. But I'm not going to get long just for that reason. We are still long SoFi right now, only 13 pennies in the money off of the 8 long, but obviously that 7 was the banger, my best trade of the day, and SoFi still remains the #1 profitable stock here on the show today. So I like SoFi, obviously, at this level, but I feel like if you look at what Uber did today, so Uber still continued its move higher. Now, I don't know where it is now. I assume it's going to be higher because the NASDAQ, yeah. So Uber yesterday, if you're just going to try to compare the two, I feel like they were very, very, shoot, there goes PayPal just dropping down. Look at the market coming back in a little bit, which is fine. We did take profits on that PayPal trade, but would still be a loser. We are red now on PayPal. But just what I was talking about right there, there's that break yesterday of 26 that we got on the report from Uber, and then it busted up. That's why we really liked that SoFi long earlier. And then now today, it's continuing its move up into this kind of into this area here where I think we eventually are going to stop, which we did today. 32 to 34, I think, is a pretty decent area there for Uber. So that's my call on SoFi. I think you can maybe go back up a little bit more tomorrow, stop around some of the day highs today, 830, 840, 850, and then we'll see about a possible pullback there if that does come through. But this market is just like it makes its high. This is getting me a little bit upset. Highs and then right back down in again, probably going to retrace to the highs. So just be careful. You might have to give yourselves a little bit bigger stops if you're trying to go for something on the bigger side of the trade.
That's sort of the thing. Like it's so easy to get wicked around when you're not breaking the range here. That QNRX, I'm now going to be looking for the long here. One of two ways it can get played. Obviously, it's got a high break of 1450. I don't like 1450 breaks in something like 15. It's just too much of a psychological level, especially when it had a halt into $10. So I'd rather play it off of this low, recent low here, the halt bottom, 1230, a little wick down to 12 even. If I can get a long between 12 and 13, give it to 12 even, then I can play it into the high that it takes them out in front of the high, takes them out in front of 15, holds some for a potential break, or just look at a $15 break. So I am watching this QNRX right now. It was MTC, that's the one. It was the other one that halted. This is down because yesterday it had that crazy run. So it's actually down a little bit from the close. It closed all the way up at $8 or so, but it's making a little run at $7. What I'd love to see, just had a halt. You hold 550, maybe get a $7 break, then that can take you into resistance. What I'm seeing is a bit of a pullback, so I'm kind of favoring QRNX because that looks like it's going to be the one. And this market wants to pull back. I kind of go back to Coinbase for where I want a bit of a short. And QRNX, MTC just halted to the downside, but I keep going back to Coinbase for something that I might want to short. It's right at that 80 level again. And it's going to be hard for me to get away from looking at that original 80 short if the market does make a pullback.
Yeah, I probably could get whipped around here. So we just got out of Meta. We just got out of everything on that move down. So we really kind of absorbed that hit. It wasn't that bad. AMD, we got out for flat when it broke the 50 period. So that was fine. The only one really was PayPal. We went long into that and just got out once that broke there. So PayPal out on the 98.80 break, 97.80 or 97.90 break there. So PayPal's out. So that's gone as this market dips down a little bit. But I just did punch shorter on, not shorter, I just did punch short on Meta. Again, this is up 5%. If this market's going to fail, I mean, Meta's been so super strong, obviously, the last little while. But I did call this morning when this was down here at 160, 162. I said, if you can get it even a little bit lower into these areas, then I think that this has the best chance to rocket ship up. I hate showing you guys that chart because It sucks, the fact that we can't get that symbol turned over. You know what, I'm going to put a ticket in for that. There has to be a solution for that. I mean, how could there not be? The daily chart, what is this, a 20-minute chart? Okay, so there's that high that we just made for you a couple seconds ago, 169.50. So that was a good play there. Actually, that's the third. What's day today? Yeah, the third. So it's coming back in. Let's see if it can hold. Those have been some decent highs. That's 171. Obviously, we're short at 168 right now, so I don't think we're going to hold it for $3. But coming back in, what's this top, 165? I mean, maybe that gets into play today. It just took off from the open, so really not much to look at here, but there's that 159 yesterday at the close, then a nice move back upside today. So yeah, maybe Meta does have the opportunity to fall back in if the NASDAQ, if the NASDAQ does come back. Like there it is right here. I mean, here's the bottom of the day. Like we are below 160 when you woke up this morning. We bounced down to 162 right off the open, and then it was been Rip City the whole time. So, hey man, we just had about a 20-cent winner there as we were talking, so let's see if it can come back in a little bit more than that. First target would be somewhere around here, I feel like. I mean, I'll take some out at 50 always, but then I think more shares out realistically around 25.
Yeah, speaking of shares out, with the market pulling back in there, trail on, well, I'm showing you QNRX, but trail on Lucid there. I just got trailed out of that. It doesn't look like it wants to take out that high just yet. If the market makes another run at the top, remember, I can always take the breakout. That's the other play. Or maybe we dip to VWAP. I don't know. Or not VWAP, sorry, 2015 where we got in before. But QNRX came in, dipped below 13 in the target range, was able to get 88s, 1288s. Some back out when it reclaimed 13 up at 1350 or so. And now if it plays into the high, I'm actually on the bid for a bit more. But if it plays into the high first, I want to hold through the break. Like if it gets to 1450, you might say, okay, we'll get out there. But I want to play into this break. Hopefully it gets to $15. And then if it tries to fail that, try to get some out right in front of 15. If 15 looks really good, I'll probably look for that long breakout trade and try to be in and out as quickly as I can. So QNRX on the run. Oh yeah, that's what I want. The other one I wanted to talk about there was AMC on the way back in. This got missed. AMC, like I was saying, that failed break. It couldn't really go very far. We didn't get much out of that last long. Successful all day long for the longs in AMC, and then right at the end of the day, it ended up failing at 1785, so I trailed out of that as well. So just QNRX and Amazon, which is barely holding on at the top as well. Like it just can't seem to go anywhere. Like it's gone, what, like 40 cents in the money at best, 35, 40 at best, and then kind of pulls back in here. So a little bit of weakness. I got one short. We just put Coinbase on just in front of that 80 level. Might add to it if this market gets any weaker, but just when I thought the market was turning, it just decides to stay right in the same pocket of range. At least this way, if we break down, I have a short that I can hold, and one long that should still follow the market, Amazon, one that absolutely will not, QNRX, but always have to keep a close eye on these. Yes, am I protected? I got to stop. If 12 breaks, I'm going to be out of this pretty quick. Always want to play these with a stop because I wouldn't want to get trapped in a halt to the downside. I'd rather get stopped out and make a bottom wick than get trapped in a halt. And if you've never, like I've been trapped in a halt in the wrong direction on one of these low floaters before, and it does like you can be looking at there's almost any percentage it could go. A lot of times it is relatively stable and you have it open up and it's like if it halts at $9, it opens up at $9.50 or $10. And you're like, well, that's not so bad. That's within the pocket of risk to reward that usually you're willing to play with. It only has to happen to you once where it does a move bigger than that, and then you'll understand that you don't really want to get trapped in something like that. I've seen one of those where it's like 40 or 50% in the wrong way. And it happens once, and you never want it to happen again there. So that's my play. Going to be patient with it here, however. That MTC. I keep wanting to say MIC. I'm thinking of dropping mics or something like that. That's probably what it is. It halts down and opens up. So go figure, right? Like it looks like it's going to fail to the downside, and then halts, and then opens up and shows some signs of strength. So maybe there is a chance for that 7 breakout after all. You just can't seem to write these things off. They don't want to stop that easily. Like these trends are relatively strong on some of these small caps. I'm looking for one that has a chance to break the top that isn't QNRX, because really that other AMTD and that HKD, which we've been talking about for 2 days, here's your AMTD. I wish I was still short it, because ever since it broke $8, all it did is fall. Just an absolute, sort of just a rug pull. They continue to go. And failed breakout trading, saying they lost their shirt in an hour when the hour-long fun halt happened on DWAC. every time that comes up, all I can say is, I feel for you. It was disgusting. It should never have happened. It was a volatility halt. There wasn't even a reason given for why that was more than 5 or 10 minutes. I never found out at the end of the day. It just halted for an hour, and then you were trapped in it, and there was nothing you can do. And you think it's not supposed to happen? Well, don't worry about should. It's what can happen. And it did, and lots of people that were deep in the money ended up losing everything during that hour while you watched DWAC give you chances. One of the other reasons why I had to get or trailed out of not Fisker, Lucid there, Tesla rolling back off that triple top. So if it bounces off VWAP, I'll be looking for re-entries into Lucid. If you're following Fisker, a little bit of the same thing happening there.
All right, Sean. Here we go. Liz, so right now, like who makes this? Look at Stephanie's thing here. So tradertv.live, who is Stephanie? Well, there she is right there. So I'm supposed to retweet this. So we're going to retweet this right now. I thought Stephanie would have her own Twitter account by now, but hopefully she will very, very soon. So I'm supposed to retweet this. So there you go, Liz. Retweet right now. Who is Stephanie? Well, I know who she is, and she'll be coming up very, very soon for you guys one more time here today. And then maybe a few other times today as well. But who is Stephanie? I don't know why I had to retweet that, but I'll do it for you there, Liz. She should have made her own account and then tweeted that out. I don't know, but we'll talk about that after, Miss Liz, as you go. But there it is right there.
It'll be coming.
It'll be coming soon, I am sure, on that one. Okay, so China, I don't know, some naval, Air Force, rocket force testing, all this kind of crazy stuff. So whatever, I don't think that the global, I talked about that yesterday. Remember I was like, hey, does anybody actually want to be long going into today? Well, yeah, you're up 2.5%, 2.75% now on the NASDAQ. So yeah, long was right. And I'm guessing that the market and everybody out there is just either not taking this Chinese threat seriously or what? Or it's just they've done this over and over again. I mean, they always do military exercises and things like that. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a defense minister or anything. I don't know what that all means, but to me, it doesn't sound great. But the market seems to be like, okay, been there, done that, so let's move off of it right now. But the last trade that I'll probably have today to the short side, if especially if it doesn't work, will be Meta. So we're going to try this into that level. I just think right here, if we break above 30, we break above 30, and that's fun, and it won't be very fun for me. But that's what we're going to look for there on Meta, breaking back above that level. I don't see any reason why that should even happen, but the market's going to be what's in charge right now. So I don't know. Again, bouncing around. To me, we're starting now to make, and it's not much. Like I'm not going to say that we're making lower highs right now because we're not really. I mean, that's once and twice right now. Whether or not it keeps going, it seems like that's because you could have said the same thing again for here. Like right back there. Lower. We kept on going, but then we just kept on battling back. So yeah, I don't know. We need to break this level right here, 13,250. If we can break 13,250 on the NASDAQ and get through all of this, then I think the bears can come back and take control of this market again and at least bring it back down, try to get this back down to 13,000. I don't think that's going to happen today, obviously, but I'm really surprised at the resiliency of this market. So again, another monster day. Like we don't have to call up the NASDAQ anymore, Neil. I mean, Everybody knows what that looks like. It's been a rocket ship. Yeah, every day it seems just to want to keep going up. And I mean, led by Meta, Disney up to 109, Tesla up to what, 930 now or something like that. Apple up to like Apple right now is 10%? No, less than 10%. About 8% off of its all-time highs is Apple right now. So, I mean, everybody that's like crying that this world's coming to an end, I wish I...
Oh, Microsoft broke out too today.
Everything.
Well, yeah, everything broke out.
There goes AMD right back to... I mean, we were long on all these names. Like, so this is what I mean. It's just frustrating. It's kind of throwing me around a little bit right now, trying to go long there, losing because it dumps out, then going short. Now you're right back at this level again. So we're going to get very close to getting out of Meta. It just looks like, tough to trade today, tough to trade. So I think that Raider Trader dude that was on there yesterday was like, this is a very tough market to trade. Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the morning it's fine.
Well, here's the thing.
It's just in the afternoon.
But look at the chart, right? Like I just said Microsoft is breaking out, but really you had that multi-day breakout that just happened at 282, but it's like Amazon. It's like the Amazon 140. Like it broke 282. Like it's not failing at that price. But it's gone to, like, it's gone up here to like 83, 83 and a half, and then just pull right back in. It's just sitting there consolidating off the high. Whereas in the morning, like if you had this breakout from yesterday's high, I mean, 278, it's clean $2, pullback, bounces off your breakout price for another entry, and then goes $4 clean. Like that's the difference. You get these moves in the morning, and that's why I keep looking for these low float like movers in there, because I'm sitting in one of these. Like Amazon is doing absolutely nothing off that high. I was sitting in AMC and Lucid that are trying to go as well. But finding some of these that are starting to go makes some sense. And like someone just said, the Nvidia short's starting to work. I don't know, like, I mean, I shorted off the high, but then it gets to yesterday's top at 189. Or maybe actually not even to yesterday's top. It couldn't even get there. But look at that. That's still kind of going sideways, right? So if you overtrade, you're going to end up. It can be troublesome, because I can see how you could still be in that short. Like you're just like, okay, well, it hasn't really gotten to yesterday's high, so you think you're okay, and it could pull back to VWAP. I'm just not convinced we're even going to see a move that big. So make sure you pick your entry points and your stops relatively carefully here. I don't mind going to some different names. I just keep checking my notes. And by that, I mean, looking to my right, QNRX is still in the money. It's not giving me reloads in front of 12. It's not breaking out the high of the day either, so not much to do with that just yet. Alibaba up 3%. That's been so weak recently. Yeah, I mean, someone just put in the chat, when the bombs fly, the stocks will, when the bombs fly, stocks will go sky high. There's a saying, it's something like that. But sometimes what will happen is you'll actually get a rally when tensions build up. And when things actually pop off, sometimes you get a bit of a rally. I think we saw a little bit of that in Ukraine. But Alibaba, to that point, you would think, okay, well, would the Chinese stocks be under pressure since yesterday? No, they actually made a bottom since yesterday. Yeah. Like Baba's bottom, if you look at the move from 125 to 85, the bottom was yesterday during all of that kerfuffle. That being said, you're getting real close to getting back into 97 to 100, where I still think Baba can be faded. That's one that I'll keep the eye on, but I can't bring myself to go short off the high of the day as strong as it's been. Coin not doing much here. To come back to one that was a bit of a weird mover a little bit early on today, someone was asking about that AEMD. Like we had this, I actually did eventually play this stock. If it'll load up for me here for a quick second. I was asked to super chat about this, about AEMD, and I actually made the play. Like we talked about it here. I talked about it here in the morning saying, well, it holds that low, that 185. You get yourself that bottom from yesterday in the afternoon. You got to go long off that. It plays back in. And I didn't really make that play. And then it comes back, and I put a piece in there at 2, actually wait for it to get to 185, and it wasn't that bad. Took it out as it got to 210. But this is a problem where you get the move. Like each time you're getting lower highs. Like the first time it does it, that gives you like 25 to 30%, a bit of a return there up to that 245 area. The second time you do it, like it's barely paying you that 10%. Really, you're taking the bulk out for like 5%. And then really when it reloads again, it just kind of falls off an absolute cliff. And I get out of it because it's not moving. And that's the difference. Like 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves, and it's a different story. I hit enter, go. QNRX just made the move through that 14 area, so here comes that 15 break. If it fails the break, I'm going to jam out of this, but I'm looking to see if it can actually sustain this. It's going to halt up here. It might halt up. Ooh, fake halt.
Ooh, I like fake halts.
So when I say fake halt, it looked like it was going to stack up on the bid to go into the halt, and then they broke it to the downside. So I punched out of it, and the new high is 1550. So if it decides to now put in a break off of that quote like fake halt, it's now clean at 1550, or it can pull back after that failed halt and pull us back into like 14 even for a re-entry point. So I'm out of the trade now. I'm looking for a break of the high of the day at 1550. Remember, breakouts come with potential rug pulls. So if it breaks and doesn't go pretty quick, this thing could do what it did to me at 11, where I didn't make anything on that trade. Like I made nothing on that trade. It was no good. So just broke 1550. I'm in, doesn't want to go, rug pull possibly happening. I'm getting out. And that's like, I'm not making the same mistake twice. Like what trade worked and what trade didn't. My breakout trade looked like it was good, then didn't work for me. The consolidation trade gives you a clean like 80 to $1 and then manages to pull back and give you $2 there. So rather than try and roll and get too crazy, now it's going to go. Like I decided I wanted to make sure that if it's a break, it has to go right away. So I get out of that one essentially for like 15 pennies, not wanting that rug pull to happen. And now it has a chance to actually go. But what I've noticed with these it is much easier usually, and it was true of HKD as well. It was a lot easier to be in it in the consolidation with a defined risk and then try to hold it than it is to buy the top. Because you'll never feel all that good about buying a top. Not one that's like a $4 stock yesterday is at 15 bucks and there's no news. Like, good luck feeling good about buying the top. I never do. I guess some of you are out there, and if I held on to it, it's great, fantastic. It's still going up, and it still might hold.
Buying the top.
The float's even, I thought the float was 1.5 million on this. Brendan just said the float is 553,000 shares.
Yeah, QNRX.
I mean, come on,
right
man.
there. I mean, that's your default, so you better lower that.
550, like that is, I probably should have held on to it. Like, that is ridiculous. 500,000 shares. This might not, this is only day one, too. No, it's like day two.
I don't know, man. I mean, some of these names, I shake my head because we had that MTC yesterday, these QNRXs. But the thing is, guys, is like, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about finding the plays, understanding why they're moving. And if they're going to be low floaters, it's always funny when you say like low floater like that. But if you're going to find a low float name like that, you know.
You think what I think with floater?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's
okay.
funny, like, you know, you got those floaters in there. Don't
leave floaters in the pool.
Yeah, definitely don't. Well, if you do that, you know, get away, like blame somebody else. Hopefully it's like in a public pool, not that you're the only one swimming around.
So like a month ago, my daughter's swimming lessons.
No.
Oh, well, no. It wasn't a float, but they have like they bring the thing everyone out of the pool. Like, your first thought is, someone left a floater. But thankfully, it was a false alarm.
Or someone throws up or something like that.
Well, that happens too. But that's why they have like tons of chlorine. Although not all pools use chlorine, I've heard these days. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, you know, my wife was saying that. I don't know if it's true. $17 this stock is going to be at with the 550,000 float, and me out of it. I went in at 15.51. I got out at 15.39. Stock is at 16.91. About 2 minutes later, if you're not entertained by that, I don't know what you are. These are here. They're probably not going anywhere. How do you find the next one? Start scanning for things with floats of less than 1 million shares, apparently, and just look for consolidations.
Yeah, but remember we had that thing, that AMTD board that had...
Oh, God, we need to find... Oh, by the way, not to put Brennan on the spot.
Well, let's put him on the spot,
Not
whatever.
to put Brennan on the spot if he hears me. He had a list of all of the companies AMTD had brought to market. That was a pretty good list of stocks that are junk.
You don't have to put him on the spot. You have to say, Brendan, please get that list.
Well, he's not... He's talking to Stephanie right now. I'm gonna message him.
Come on.
He's like,
He's
but
ready.
he had the list. It was a cool list because every single one of them was like down in the dumps.
You don't need to message him. He's like, he can
now,
hear,
okay.
he's looking.
It's good.
There he is. He's going to have it right now, but you just tease it up. We're getting ready to throw to Stephanie in just a matter of seconds. So as soon as that's ready, we will do that, and we'll get. Well, so I don't know. Are you going to be updating futures? What is she going to be talking about? I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not sure. We're going to find out.
Futures, Stephanie? Yes, she's talking about the futures coming up very soon. We wanted to talk about oil futures too, because today she broke some good oil news this morning. And if you follow my Twitter, you will see that who is Stephanie on that one. So we'll find out very, very soon who exactly she is. But there is a nice move down on Meta. We did get out of a little bit there. We shorted again, and I'm just going to short this until it breaks that top. Like, I really feel that this market, I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's got to go somewhere. And I mean, honestly, like, if any of these moves ever continue one way or the other, I want to be in something, so we're going to choose Meta again. What happened to Batgirl? Warner Brothers scraps movie Batgirl
I didn't know
right
they were
now.
making one.
Nor did I.
No,
That's
but
WBD.
they did a TV show that had
Man,
like
just
a
stick with
Batgirl or
like,
something.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do, because Paramount obviously, or was it Paramount, spun out this Warner Brothers.
Do superhero stuff on Netflix like they did Daredevil. That show.
Or
was,
that other one. What's that one on
lit.
Amazon that they were filming here? The Boys.
The Boys is out of control.
You know, I mean, they could do something like
see
that.
what happens? Like, you make a superhero thing for adults, and we actually enjoy it sometimes. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We teed it up. She's locked and loaded, ready to go. Let's throw it to Stephanie.
Hi guys, it's that time of day where I review ES futures again. So let's pull up to my chart. So here, I've started off market open for you guys. So it was very clear that we were bullish. We ended up maintaining that momentum. Yesterday, if you guys remember, 41.10 was a key level which we perfectly bounced off of and maintain our bullish trend. So here, as you can see, throughout the afternoon, even up until now, we've consistently been making higher highs, breaking through all key levels. Yesterday, another key level I mentioned that I was looking for a potential short setup was 41.50. I do want to mention something that I haven't mentioned. I've kept on mentioning key levels. I've shown you them on my chart. I've marked them up. One of the things that I like to refer to when looking at my trades, figuring out an intraday range, is a 10-day period ADR. So our average daily range, which is about 70 points on ES, we have exceeded. So from here, we could completely slow down for the rest of the day. So I'd be cautious if you were going to try to jump into a long for power hour. So just be wary of that. Back to you guys.
Be wary. Yeah, I feel we're definitely worried about it. Thank you, Stephanie, as well. And like when you said like this morning broke the oil news. Like I remember because I saw the chart. I'm like the move in oil, and I threw into our work chat. I'm like, what the heck just happened in oil?
Right.
Because usually what'll happen is we throw it in our chat, and then we get a response like Brendan's like looking it up, and then Stephanie was like, bang bang. There we go, and gave us the OPEC news. So she kept her ear to the ground, to be sure, which I know she's going to continue to do. As always, I am short Coinbase, but it is worth noting that crypto is making a little bit of a run back to the upside here. I mean, Bitcoin trying to retest some highs. Also, Ethereum trying to get back towards some highs. I am watching. I don't want to get away from QNRX. It's going to open up in like a minute or so, so I do want to have it on tap. I want to find a better structured trade than just trying to take out a top. Right?
Yeah.
So if it opens up at 17, like maybe it tries to reject the high and can maybe consolidate at 15 the same way it did at 12 or 13, and then I can just sort of get into a long position instead of trying to break out the top, which I managed to like successfully bungle. Like that's a pretty successful bungle, which is like getting in right there. Like imagine a stock is up like $11 and I just like got in and got out after it went like 15 cents against me. But it's really more about the fact that it was looking like it was failing the break, and I just had a rug pull on me, which was the same thing, maybe like an hour earlier. Coinbase, despite the fact that the Bitcoin is running a little bit, I just took some out of this Coinbase because if it's going to break higher, if Bitcoin is breaking higher, I wasn't willing to take anything out when it rolled over a little bit like 15 or 10 minutes ago. Now that it's starting to go, I want to make sure I'm getting something out. And now if it goes back up to 80, I can try to rinse and repeat. I don't need Bitcoin at the high or breaking higher. And then I've paid nothing when this went in the money for me, and then just average back into it when it goes back up to 80. So taking a little bit out, I'll get back on the offer there. I think Brendan does have that interesting list. We'll get that into you in a second. And when I say that list, it's that AMTD, that's that company that has the gigantic stake in HKD that we've been trading. HKD that went from $10 to $2,500 and then back down again. Brendo?
Yeah, I'll preface this by saying this is from Twitter, first of all. Secondly, there's very little research involved in this, so take this for what it's worth. But AMTD is a holding company, so these are all of the stocks that they've brought to market since 2018.
So a lot of great performances there.
One of them is actually only down 1%.
What does it say the net average? 73.
HK, what's that
That's what
one?
we should buy. HKIB or whatever that is. That's the one we
one.
should buy right now. But HKIB, yeah. So wow, funny names there. And you're gonna get one that's gonna run, right? HKD. So somehow they chose that one to run upside. So yeah, that's the name right there. HKD, I guess, looking for that runner to come through. So I don't know. I mean, that's part of the whole thing about, is the market, not that it's rigged to that extent, because they obviously got it wrong a bunch of times, but it's like you're going to take on some risk here whenever you trade those names, and it's just like, where is that risk located exactly, and how much risk are you willing to put on when you invest in some of those names that they all probably profile the same. So that's the thing. The thing about HKD was that story about how it got messed up with the offering, I believe. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah. What?
Just want to mention, guys, Fed's Kashkari just saying it's very, quote, it's very unlikely that the Fed will cut rates next year, and he's not sure what the market's looking at. So Kashkari making some comments right now. Just watch the market.
Well, so, and correct me, guys, if I'm wrong about this, but usually from the time that they end a cycle of hiking, it's what, like a year or just less than a year, somewhere around there, that you start seeing a bit of the first reductions in interest rates. So like maybe they're trying to tell us that they're not close to being done raising the rates, because if they were to be done by the end of this year, then at some point next year they'd be usually lowering them. That's historically. I just got into EAR, but I'll get to EAR in a second. QNRX went to $20. Yes, I suck. Should have had that long. Should have held it, but it opens higher. Doesn't, like, forget about consolidation. There is no consolidation. There's only up on the stock. Went to $20 on a dime and is now trying to pull back. So there might be a chance that it does consolidate off the last halt price down at 17 even. I'll show you what just happened in EAR, but if you're watching the midday show, you might have an idea. It's been sitting at 120 all day, bouncing off it, and it's like, once it breaks 120, hey, why not? Like, Luca was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll throw an order in there. And then the longer it lingered and the lower highs it made, I just figured, okay, this got even better. But it broke, filled me at 119 on the break, and is doing absolutely nothing. So if it doesn't start to at least accelerate a little bit to the downside, the stop's going to end up really tight. The thing about Power Hour, which we're now in, by the way, is if it's not going, don't necessarily waste your time with it. It's fine if you're holding it and it's in the money and you have a plan of action for it. But if you're getting into something in Power Hour and it doesn't want to move, well, take the hint, right? Like, it's just, you got to be able to think that. So a floor like this being broken on a stock that's given up 70 pennies, which is 190 to 120 all day long, it should be it should be accelerating to the downside, not lulling you to sleep right away, which is a bit of a disappointment.
I feel like trading has been disappointing today because, like, I keep getting wicked out of things. Like, we got taken out of Facebook. I mean, I got back in and now it's tanking, but it's like you know, if this just doesn't happen, it's fine. Net-wise, it's fine, but it's like, like, just get taken out and get back in, so I have to pay the piper on like 15 cents there, and then, you know, it gets out, and then it tanks, and it's right back to the 50 period. Like, this would have been areas where we would have got out anyways, like we were doing. It just never gave us an opportunity until it pushes the limit on us and then comes back down there. So I think now, like, you know, when Brendan's going to bring us news like that, when the market's actually going to move, you know, that's what it is. Like, if you're just going to sit here and trade stock and just let them just run you over and not take I mean, I'm taking profits. I'm not letting it run me over, but it's just like today I feel a little bit, you know, like some of these stops are just getting run. Like, it's not they're running against me. It's just against everything. It's like they go up, they stop, they come down. Like, it doesn't matter where you put your orders unless you have it perfectly. Like, even if, I mean, imagine you were like long, you use this bottom here of 167.40, and then, you know, you're going long here. Well, it only goes down about 20 cents and then rips up, you know, $1.50. So, you know, whatever. So if you go long rate, I mean, I'm glad I don't have that tick there and then an out rate there before this happened. But that's, you know, kind of happening all over the place. Just like if you went short here, you could have easily got wicked out somewhere around there. So I tried to give this one a little bit more room and still had it happen to me. So I think you got to sort of go back into a scalping kind of mode right now and just take profits as you see them lie, because I don't really see anything else to do right now in this market other than wait for sort of either the next shoe to drop, or, I mean, I went over to AMD and we traded that today before, you know, getting, some good trades, some hits on that as well. But, you know, like, look how choppy this is again. If you go short into this 98 level, well, it ticks up to 98.20 and gets you out. And then you look back 4 minutes later and it's down to 97.70. So it's like what could have been here a monster short, you may have just gotten taken out like I did there on Meta. And now look at this market come back in. So I feel like the short now, finally, Meta, get the hell down. That's starting to go down now, so that's going to be a good trade for us. There goes Meta right now, back down in. So, like, look at all these freaking wick outs, man. That sucks, but we'll hold this down to the downside. We're coming back into this level. We broke below the 50 period, so now you're at this 168. I'm going to put a bid a little, there we go. Like, you just put a bid and you get it, so we'll go, mamma mia, what a frustrating day, but that's okay. Hopefully this will come through very, very soon for us, and the market will continue down. Hey, look. Who is Stephanie? I mean, Stephanie warned us, maybe watch out for the longs heading into the close. So as soon as she said that, of course, I get stopped out of my short, but we went right back into the short, and hopefully that will start to cash out.
But it's been that kind of afternoon.
And that's exactly it, right? It's been that kind of a day. Even SoFi, I was about to talk about this before we threw to Stephanie, but like that just made a couple tops right there at 25, 26. So if you want to get frisky with it, that's not a bad play right there. 825, 826 on SoFi. I actually have my out right now at 825. So if it comes comes back up there. I mean, look, if it runs to the high of the day, 835, then fine. But I'm going to take SoFi out if it does come back into this area.
Look, we have the same, when we came back on at 2 o'clock, we have the same high on the NASDAQ, and it's been touched 3 times on my 15-minute, and it's about a 40 to 50 point range.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, we're running out of steam every single time we get up there. Like, Amazon just keeps on trying to break that 140.50. Now it's back below 140. I keep thinking that's going to be the time. By the way, QNRX, someone asked me what the last print was. It closed at 21.26. It's always a 5-minute halt unless it's a 10-minute halt is the answer to how long a halt is. And then every now and then you get a funware, which doesn't make sense, but it happens every now and then. So you can always go to NASDAQ trade halts. It's a fantastic page. You know what? If you want to look for something that's moving sometimes, just make sure you have this up. Like, I didn't even realize that HKD, I stopped watching this thing. I didn't realize it halted a couple of minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. So maybe that's on the move again. But QNRX is on there, MDJH, that MTC's there. They give you a quote resumption and a trade resumption time so you know when it's going to open up. And you can see if it is a volatility halt. This, in fact, is one. I can't believe I got out of it. And I'll look for it to open back up. This is getting really impossible to chase at this point. And I'm still thinking, where do I want to try to find some shorts? I just got trailed out of Amazon. So maybe there's a chance it's Amazon if it's going to fail this 140. You know, like, it's just been such a strong name. If the market's going to go, like, what has been following the market up and barcoding this whole way? If it breaks support, why not take a shot there? Your risk is to 140.5 on an Amazon short. Anywhere in this range, you got to be aware of that. I already have Coinbase, but crypto can obviously move on its own. That's going to be the case. Hopefully, we can actually break downside here. Maybe hold below 140 for a while. Then I'll feel a little bit better about this one. But we just broke to that downside a couple of seconds ago. I don't know. Oh yeah, we're going to open in about 30 seconds on QNRX. That's level 2 I want to be on, because if there's going to be a trade in this afternoon and we don't break the range, it's going to be on one of these small caps again.
Yeah. I was looking at, I mean, you went from small cap. I was going to talk about Google a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, they're all kind of doing the same old dance here by barcoding. We are very, very close to getting out. A couple, my offer's at 24, a little bit of a rip up there. We should be able to get that out there on SoFi. So, we got it. Okay, we got it somewhere. Something just printed there on SoFi. So we did get that 24 out there, or was it a 23 half? I think it was a 24 print. I don't use pegged orders ever, really. So if you guys ever see these D prints in the middle or anything like that, I don't do that. I'll just sit at the full pennies. So, but there are opportunities for those of you that are at Day Trade the World, of course, to hit some of these midpoint prints as well. And then a lot of them will go off on these smaller, like, see right there, there's a bunch of like C prints, J prints, things like that come off at the even penny. And there are also a lot of printing going through at the half pennies, especially on stocks that report and stuff like that. So that's what that is. It's nice to see Nvidia back to the positive side right now. I mean, if you're going to take any long, maybe in the chip space, it would be this instead of AMD. But wow, AMD 114 million shares today. Look how choppy this is. Like, why am I even looking at this? There has to be something else. Maybe Starbucks or something.
Oh my! The level of it gets a little frustrating, and by a little I mean like a lot with this QNRX. It actually opened up 2150, broke 22s. At which point, like, it actually held there for a little bit. So I tried to grab along, throw the stop at the halt price, couldn't even get in. It rocket ships. Now it's halted again. This one, it's in that mode where you're kind of like you're in here or you're just taking Hail Mary longs at this point. And someone in the chat asked, like, how do you avoid getting wicked out of everything? One trick that I've used, which I don't really use on these small caps, and I've told a couple of traders this, is like whatever your default is set to, when you get into position, like just reset it to like 80 to 90%. So that no matter what happens, if your first instinct is like, ooh, I'm going to protect them with a tight stop, you'll actually end up holding on to 10 to 20%, only if you're comfortable with that risk. It can keep you in, even if like something sets up for that quick exit, you can still take that, scratch that itch, and then maintain a small portion, and that gives you practice in holding on to the move. I've found that works with like big cap breakout trades. I don't use them for things like this, because if I want out of dodge on this, it's because I don't want to get trapped in multiple halts down. Not because I think it's like, oh God, I got to have this one forever. And usually it's about really protecting your downside risk. I want to go back to Lucid here. So I got on the, no, I didn't get. I'm at 87s on Amazon. So whatever. Now the difference between 87 and 85 is 2 pennies. So I'm taking 85. And then I would have got 87s on Amazon. So it held below that 140. I'm now in it. If the market rolls over, I only have shorts on at this moment. Lucid is starting to pull back, so the trail out was okay. It's not going to break 2050, it doesn't seem. It's still relatively strong. Going into earnings after market, by the way, a little bit stronger. Well, I mean, Tesla's about the same thing there. I was going to show you guys Fisker, but pretty much the same kind of trade over there in Fisker. I wanted to check out that MTC because that was the other low floater. It's like this is the one I wanted to try as well. If it could have broken out the high, this one might be done for the day, it looks like. So it took that second leg down 37%, manages to hold a little bit at 450, but it definitely feels like this one is a little bit done. But the oracle of the futures is back. Let's hear from Stephanie. Please say the shorts are good.
Hey guys, so I'm back, and I'm back to review crude oil futures, and the move that happened specifically before pre-market, 9 a.m., from bulls to bears taking control. Let's throw it to the chart here. So 9 a.m. happened, which was here. Clearly we were trending bullish. What happened? We instantly reversed to bears taking control. So I want to talk about something. When analyzing market moves, you want to figure out if there was a catalyst affecting the ticker that you're trading. It's also extremely important to factor in headline risk. So OPEC at this 9 a.m. time came out confirming a slight oil output increase for the month of September, which is what happened here. That was the catalyst for the move this morning. Then we also had crude oil inventories at 10:30 in the morning. But as you can see, with the rise unexpectedly, we just continued our bear trend. So from 9 a.m. to 10:30 and on, even now it's still maintaining the bearish trend. We've just continued drifting lower slowly and slowly. That's it from me, guys. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Daria. We talked about that earlier, and it's great to have, again, another bright person on the desk there with Brendan. So that should be really excited for that. And obviously the chat excited as well. It is nice to have a female face, that's for sure. They've seen a lot of us lately. So that's great to have Stephanie on board, and we're really proud to have her. So that's great. That QNRX, man, 450%.
I should say this too, like the tap, right now it's indicating it will open up $1.15 from where it closed. So the tap theoretical auction price right now, 24.83, it closed at 23.65. It is just, I don't like the word YOLO for trades if you're trying, but like actually the way to, if you just kind of,
it's not a bad
if you just kind of punch long in that thing, you're just good to go. I should tell you guys, like after a bit of a rollover here in Coinbase, which doesn't, I mean, the market's not going down, but Coinbase is, so at least that's going to end up working again. Coinbase, one of the strongest stocks all day long, and this short might end up being the one that ends up being solid. I'm now down on my bid to 77.5. If it can get there, it's going to be exciting. I want to trail this now, but now this thing is halting at 20. It just had a fake halt or failed halt at $27 or almost, $26.95. It is still, this is unreal, man. This is ridiculous.
You have to be able to make money off this, man.
It's frustrating. Like I had one long that I liked, and I didn't hold on to it. That would have been a better play. I could have held on to the original long. The breakout, I probably never would have. I'm going to check to see what the price of shorts are, just because I need to know in case it gets really out of hand. There's 40 minutes left. If I see like $40 or something on this stock, I'm probably going to want to short it just from a risk-to-reward basis.
$40. Yeah.
I mean, if it gets
I'm just more like can't believe it. That's all. Not that it's a bad call. I have no idea. I mean, we could all say anything we want about any of these stocks, right? But at the end of the day, realistically, I mean, we've already saw HKD. I mean, that sort of punched itself in the face there, and then just kept going and going and going and going all the way to 3,000. We haven't even looked at HKD right now. I mean, I guess no one's probably talking about it. See,
it's dead.
I mean, we called this yesterday. I mean, when this was at 3,000. We were saying, I mean, you guys know this too. It's not rocket science. There was nothing that could be done about it. I mean, HKD kept on falling down. They had that monster move up. There was almost no way to capture this profit unless you somehow were able to get shorts and be able to pick some kind of a top versus a, I don't know. But this is just what it looks like over the last couple of days. And so now, obviously, it's falling back down. HKD will go back down to like, I don't know, $5 or whatever it was before all of this. It's just a matter of time before that does happen. And how risky do you want to get on this position?
I think it bounces.
That's really what it, I mean, you think it bounces in this area or in this area? 400?
I actually think No, God, no. I was gonna say between 20 and 40.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't even zoom out that. This is just a 20-minute chart.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't go back
Four,
that
yeah,
far.
not 4. I don't think it bounced to 400. I mean, I guess it could, but.
Oh, there you go. I mean, this just came in right now. HKD lost 200 billion in market cap in one day. So there you go. But that kind of stuff is really misleading, and I don't need to tell you guys that. You know,
It's not real.
It is what it is on that. And okay, so Meta. Meta did come down, and then look what happened. It went right back up. The same thing happened to us on AMD. We got wicked out of a couple different trades. We're back in them both. But Meta, we've been in since we got taken out right there. So that came up there on the NASDAQ bump to the north side. Now the NASDAQ's just doing what it's doing. We are going to get an update very, very soon. I'm hoping anyways with respect to the mock. So whenever we have that, I'm going to hope that it's trending to the downside. But remember yesterday, I think it was like 300 million to sell was the update that we gave you, and it came out like 400 to buy or something. So I don't hold that much credit into it unless it's a bigger number. Like if there's some way Brendan were to say, or we get it from Financial Juice, so it's a Twitter account. If it was somehow $1 billion or something like that, then maybe I could see it. But right there, this is not. I'm not going to say case closed, but I'm going to hit it because I don't know if we've hit it in a while. I think we could close the case on this being a choppy day because it is. So, there goes Meta coming back in there. We take that fill once again. Like we had to hold this thing all the way back up to 43, and then this is minute chart. So 1, 2, 3 minutes later, we get the fill down there at 168.10. So it's like, come on, man. Hopefully this market can finally trend one way or the other. And as soon as we get that fill, it just rips back up 10 cents. So I don't know. I'm starting to lose patience with this. Thank God the market's almost done here. Let's just see some sort of a direction. I mean, I love that fact that we're up huge today. Meta's been a big call for me, right? So happy with it. Just very, very whippy here, very whipsaw kind of action happening right now in the market.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I just got back into some Coinbase short. It went down in the money, like about $1. I moved my bids down toward below 78, closer to VWAP there, and then it just climb right back up. So we stay inside the pocket, which means I'm just going to reload the short. And then I just realized I looked at gift horse in the mouth there on ear. Like ear actually started to accelerate, and at my first bid was down like it's $1 stocks. My first bid was 5 cents in the money. It went exactly 5 in the money, and then broke up and then took out 125. So it did the wick bottom. Almost tapped me on the bid. It didn't actually fill. I mean, it filled some bids down there. It didn't actually go through the level, so I didn't get a fill. But either way, now it goes to the top. Looked like it was finally going to start going, and I look at gift horse in the mouth. If you're curious about QNRX, it actually halted to the downside just now. So 23.76. But if I've learned a lesson, just because it halts down doesn't mean it's necessarily over. Most of these ones that go, a lot of times there has been like. We saw it with HKD, or I forget the other one that went today. There was a couple of these where like it would halt down. It was APDN yesterday. I think that was the one. Where like it would halt down a couple of times, and then it would still manage to catch a little bit of a bid. So it's not necessarily a death keel these days when you halt down, Brendo.
The latest possible takeout candidate, MNRL, just popping up, guys, on buyout rumors.
What?
MNRL.
MRNL. MNRL.
Brigham Minerals.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe on the New York there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 20. I mean, whatever. I mean, this is just one of those names again. Good volume, obviously, to the upside there. Unless it's a low float name, this thing's probably coming right back. But there it is, MNRL, obviously there on some rumors Brendan just talked about. A nice little move to the upside. Where are we going on this? This is the 20 minutes, so definitely no volume. Okay, I mean, whatever. Minerals obviously going to be pretty hot right now, talking all about electric vehicles and things like that. So yeah, maybe something in that. Again, I don't know much about this company, but maybe $29. I don't know where the buyout would come from or who it would be or what's going on, but MNRL. What about Nikola? Like Nikola is reporting, now that I think about electric vehicles, they're going to be reporting. They've had some share structure issues there, but we always know about that. Former CEO Trevor Milton got in trouble with some of that stuff before, and right now, see, this is another candidate tomorrow. So like if they, like an eyelash or something again. If they take this out, and I just can't wait for my voice to get back. If they take this level out, it doesn't look as great as SoFi, but this could be something. If you guys want to like maybe a possible swing play on what could be EV, but Again, Tesla came out with a great report. They're really the only EV company, I think, so far that's reported of significant, interest. So we get Lucid, we're going to get Fisker, we're going to get Rivian, we're going to get GGP or Polestar, which is no longer GGPI. They're going to come out, and then we're going to see. But this could be a decent spot here because there's going to be a lot of traders looking at this 750 level. You take that out, and you could get up tomorrow 10, 11. So watch out right now for Nikola.
I tried it. I tried to get in, and it's like halt down. I go halt down, and it's not over on QNRX, right? Or potentially not over. So you'll see what happened here. It opened up at almost even, like 24.50, threatened to the downside. You'll see it broke down, but this is before it actually broke down. It actually held the whole price, came back up to 26, slammed into 25. It's all happening pretty quick. Slams back into 25. I get the long as it holds 25. And then just as I'm sort of getting my orders out there, it slams, goes into a down halt. I'm able to get out there right at the end. And this is sort of the trouble. Like I'm never trying to hold it through something like this. And the worst part about it is if it's not done, maybe it opens up higher and continues to run. But I'm always going to have it out. But I did take a shot at this one if you try to hold 25. Because the risk to reward, when you're looking, if it breaks that whole price, you got to figure you're not doing any worse than down below, just below 23. But if it goes, it should run the high again or even get to 30. So the risk reward did make some sense. Swing and miss on XNRX. Really the real trade there was the original long holding on to or just that clean breakout. Like we got it, that 15 break, that 15 and a half that we got in, like that's the real trade. Like up there, fine, you're going to take your shot, but you're never really giving that much room. At least I'm never giving that much room. Like I could have found a way to have that original long and hold on to it. But it looks like QNX might be slowing down a little bit. Just got back into some more coin shares. Every time I think the market's rolling over, it says no, we're not doing it. Amazon starts to work to the downside, and then it starts catching a bit. Like it goes 20 cents in the money, and then it starts bouncing again. Coinbase drops $1.15 in the money. Now we're right back up to 80 even. Like this is just the market we're in. That's why I wanted to try and swing a QNRX because at least there was, like if it worked, at least there was something there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was an actual chance to get a real move. Had that managed to continue, of course, that just means it didn't. Brendo?
Possibly the latest one. Another low float one here. MOTS, guys, 21.5% just took out the highs. You can almost see the rotation from one to the next to the next to the next as far as volume is concerned. We saw that QNRX come off, halts downside, and then this one popped up almost at the same time.
MOTS.
So he says rotate. If I go long in MOTS and it loses, oh, Brendo, you owe me a Guinness.
What was the...
MOTS Clamato.
What? No, that's not what it is.
No, it's not.
Modus G Holdings.
You're a Caesar guy.
I don't mind Caesars. Sometimes they're a little bit too salty, I find. If you have the rim on the outside of it, I don't know. You put the rim on there?
Sometimes, okay, so
I'm kind of weird like that.
You do need to, but like I've been places where it's just like it's too much.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we used to do like a Laurier alumni softball tournament. I didn't go to Laurier, but Sean did. So I got to play I was like the ringer, whatever. It was a lot of fun. But the problem with the guys is like on the second day of the tournament in the morning, like we'd go to eat, and at like 11 a.m. or whenever the place opened up, they're like, let's get some Caesars. And I'm like, really? Like after a night of drinking, like when you wake up, like the first thing you get with your first meal, you want to have a Caesar? Apparently it's a thing. It's not a thing for me, but I don't know if anyone actually likes that. MOTS, by the way, just to point out here, on the daily, this is in breakout territory right here. So if it was going to fail and give you a pullback, this is where you'd expect it to happen. And if it was going to extend this move, that's where it would have to go. So pretty natural to see a bit of a pullback. Might get a consolidation off 5 even. I'd lean to the breakout on the daily as being a more significant level, so call it 550 to the upside. However, you just saw what happened to me on NQRX or QNRX there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. QNRX. It's always tricky this late in the game or late in the day to try and catch these moves. And part of the problem also is, and this got pointed out in the chat, is a lot of times this late, the best run can happen at 4 o'clock. Or like tomorrow at 7 a.m. when you get this late in the session for some of these small cap runners. So don't sleep on them in the aftermarket if that's your jam, or in the morning when they make that push. Like if I look at that APDN or AMTD, the best longs were really pre-market when it made its run. So MOTS is on my radar. If it holds above 5, it's got a top break there when you pull up the daily chart. So I'm not going to ignore it. It looks like it's the only game in town here with QNRX pulling back in.
I like that mod. I mean, I like the mods there, but I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes.
What is it?
Okay, what else can we talk about? What about Amazon again? Okay, that one did come back a little bit there off that 140.50. So again, like just look how choppy this is, but at least the direction's to the downside. I mean, it's kind of similar to that of Meta, as that's kind of been choppy, but still at least trying to go to the downside. So that could be a play there as well into the close. But you know what, just such a choppy. I mean, what about, Uber? I'm trying to see if there's anything that's moving more outside your GSAT I just saw. Is that moving around? I think this was an AM, yeah. This is probably, if it's on the AM, NYSE American, it's probably not super low floaty right there. But let's just have a quick look to see what this is doing. Probably, yeah, no, nothing, okay. That just popped up there on a scanner. I'm looking around. Oh, and by the way, there goes SoFi right back up to the day's high, so we can have a look at that. We got out right there, not expecting that to break, but there it is. Wow, SoFi. So yeah, locked and loaded. SoFi up to $8 now and still ripping upside. So what's up over at the desk?
Hi, everyone. So I decided to make one final appearance. So over the past couple of days, I've been mentioning and also showing you guys my key levels. What comes with talking about key levels is planning. So I do have an example. We're going to take ES futures, of course, here. So as I've told you guys, I have been talking about 41.10 that I was looking to look for longs, 41.50 on the top end of the range to look for shorts. So what I want to give you, my piece of advice, is that when you're working with a range, you've figured out a level that you want to work with for shorts as well as longs, but price is hanging around in the middle. Don't force the trade. You never want to force a trade in anticipation of where something will go. You want to be prepared to react as price is moving. So you want to know your levels, wait for your levels, stick to your plan, and just remember that sometimes the best trades are the ones that you don't take. Back to you guys.
I love that advice. I mean, because to be perfectly honest for you, you should sit in the seat here for me, because it's like if I just didn't take any of these trades. And look, at the end of the day, when the market's moving, you want to, but sometimes you just don't want to take anything. And you end up giving it back. I'll give you an example. Like we just showed you, not MOTS, it was QNRX, but Coinbase. Like I was just sitting in the money. I could have just banked it. Instead, I moved my order down thinking this is our breakdown, and now I'm just getting more shares out in front of the high there. The lower high, not the high of the day. If Coinbase gets to the high of the day, I'm long gone. The high of the day is like 82.26. On the daily, 84 is resistance on Coinbase. Amazon worked in the money like 20 cents, and that's back against the money. Like nothing is following through unless you are a small cap stock. So why I'm even looking at anything but those, at least, that's the thing, at least QNRX had a chance. That's the thing I keep leaning back into. Like that's one that was really going. But if you're gonna look a gift horse in the mouth like I did there with Coin just like a couple of minutes ago, then it doesn't really matter anyways, right? So it's about to take out this resistance here on Coinbase. Super strong stock, it gets taken out. It's at 80.40, that's this high here. So it takes that out and I'll be out of Coin. And once again, it's like another trade. If you just bank your profit, move on to the next, you're good to go. MOTS is on my radar. I'm going to go away from that QNRX because it's just going to frustrate me a little bit here. But it is showing some signs of the volume just dying down. Always a chance it picks it back up. We have 10 minutes, maybe 12 till the imbalances come out here, and maybe we get a little something that can actually move these markets somewhere. I don't know if we see it. I'm just kind of hoping that's going to be the case. I do want to have one quick look at just going back to a name, we already talked about SoFi there. One of the other big runners at the open, which I didn't have it, should have had the 10 break at least, on Robinhood, that fell asleep, up 12%, and that fell asleep. But there just haven't been any buyers in the rest of this market strength for Robinhood. So I'd be a little bit cautious as going into tomorrow, $11 was the next logical high and resistance level. Market was screaming, it rejected it, and it never retested that high. So I'm going to be thinking first things first. Well, I mean, if it holds above $10, I'm making that assumption that it holds above $10, that there could be a shorting opportunity off of that high there. In Hood, I will do this. There goes Amazon. Sorry, not Amazon, Coinbase. So just Amazon left for me, but Robinhood, that 11 looks pretty juicy for tomorrow's trade after it showed all kinds of relative weakness in the afternoon. Such a strong morning, for it to do nothing as the market held those highs, a bit surprising. Like, juxtapose that with SoFi. Like, SoFi's chart, similar breakout trade, similar catalysts, both reporting earnings and getting a bump higher. One breaks higher in the afternoon and holds the high. The other makes a high and then tests the low. And all while the market is holding the high. So a bit of weakness that I'm noticing in Hood that I will take into tomorrow morning.
All right, AMC's going for the high of the day. Yeah, Nvidia's looking strong. Yeah, everything's looking strong, man. I mean, the market's basically at the day's high again, up 2.8%. I mean, that's about as high as it's gone, man. 13,300 right there. So, yeah, good call on the day so far for the longs. I mean, wow, this market is like, sheesh, it's on one the last couple of days, man. Nice little movement, last couple of days, last little month and a half there to the upside. But yeah, I don't know what's going to be next for these moves. I mean, like we said, you got to do your own sort of due diligence and try to figure that out where we go from here on the market, but or on some of those little low float runner plays. I'm going to go one more time into meta, and I'm going to try to do like, you know, like we've been saying, wait for a little bit more. Let's see if it just takes out 169. I mean, this is only going to be a 40-cent hit or a 50-cent hit if it goes back to the upside. So definitely, I think it's worth it. I think we can retest some of those numbers there. We are getting a number of 384 million shares to sell. So that's going to be coming out very, very soon. And what we're talking about there is the imbalance locator. I'm just going to get rid of NYSE ARCA. And as you can see, all these times are 9:30, so nothing updated yet. We'll wait to see at 450, at 350, these will update again, and then we'll get a good look on potentially where the market's going. But we're going to try to hold the short here, and just thinking the same thing that we were talking about earlier, that it's just going to be this back and forth sort of rubber band play where we get to the high, then we kind of come back in, then we do this. So if we do a dance, we have meta at its dancing levels right now. It's at the high of where we just were. So if the market does sort of continue form, we should come back down to 168.10. So that should be a good little look there. And just so you guys don't feel bad, that QNRX is a negative stock on our floor here today. So I mean, it's.
Oh, I could almost tell you for sure. Yeah.
No, it is. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, it's not a name that we're up on.
But that's why I kept stressing, like, the trades up here, that's hard. It's harder to do. If you get it early, the real play is to try to find a way to hold the early trade. Like up top, it's always difficult to get these up top. You're never going to love it. You're not going to, it's going to be so hard to try to structure along once it got over 20 to make some money. The ones that were down here off of consolidation, like that was the play, man. So like that one's on me because I was saying that was better than the break. And then I took that out, got into a break, and bungled the break. So it is.
That's why it's just so frustrating.
I hate the line. It is what it is. But I know exactly what I didn't want to do on the stock, which is, you know, sort of give it up when you had it going and you're holding through the break. But that's exactly what you do because FOMO happens to everybody, because you're a human being. Like all of these things. Like you know what you want to do. It's a different story when all of a sudden the stock gets going and you start reading that tape and you get excited about it. All of that being said, hey, guess what? The next time we get to 13.3, which is right now, and everything gets to that top, maybe this is it. I remain skeptical until we actually take out this high in the NASDAQ, but we are there right now. So, you know, there is always the chance that we're going to go. I did want to get AMC back at the high. I think you mentioned Lucid has gotten to 2049. That was what, I mean, I had the long, we did trail out of the long in Lucid, but that 2050 still very much in play for maybe a late little quick trade there. Lucid, of course, reporting aftermarket, so that'd be a scalp trade. I wouldn't be trading it into the aftermarket to try to hold for earnings. That would just be a clean break and try to catch a few pennies off that high. Very strong stock all day long. Market at the high, why not?
You know, good job there, Playmaker. So there you go. So if you were on our floor, you'd be positive on QNRX. Long from 665 out at 1030. So great job there. Playmaker, like I said, yeah, not a positive name here. Okay, so you want to see what's up to, I don't know how to pronounce your name because there's a whole bunch there. VA Beach. Oh, Virginia Beach sucks, maybe is what you're trying to say. ENVB there. Let's just check out this. I mean, we've talked about this being halted. There's the halt right now. When did it halt? We can see the time just to see if they're going to open it up. It's a little late. Yeah, well, if it's 10 minutes, it should open up very, very soon to some of these levels because it did halt at 33. So now it's 43. And we can quickly see here on the daily chart, there's the break of $10. I don't see anything else on the daily. I mean, I can zoom, I don't know, let this stock fill out or not. But obviously, it's a high floating name there. And I apologize, but if there is anything on this one, Brendan will come back with it one more time. There's been so many of these names, man, that it is going to be hard for us to sit here and be able to tell, which names are on which kind of catalyst. But that's a nice little 80% move to the upside. And there it is. There it is. So open up right there. So it was a 10-minute halt. Now you're starting to open up on ENVB, and here we go, man. Watch out. I mean, any of these levels, like you take out that 1250, then maybe that's a runner one more time. So watch out for this one, ENVB. There it is. There's 1250. See you later. So it takes it out, but notice the spread. There it is, 13. So frustration mounts again because there's that trade again. The same thing happens. You could, short this at your peril if you want, but that 1250 was the high. No longer. You're up $1 from that. All you had to simply do was go long on the halt level there of 1250 or whatever that was. And then there it is right now. It looks like it'll probably halt again as it's trying. There it is. There's the halt level, 1375. I'm not going to take the long, but this is not a horrible long. It's just the fact that it might not reopen right now. So watch out. It's on the NASDAQ, and there it goes. There goes Meta one last time. We said we'd try to play the ranges as well on Meta, and then it just gets taken out there at 169. So the frustration continues to mount for me as the market just going to the upside. And there it is, man. We said to look out for those, but the longs look like, that's what you got to do. You got to trade your own book, right? So there it goes, breaking through that 13,300. Nice little upside move in the stock market right now. But that ENVB, what a wild name. There it is. There's the halt one more time on ENVB. We just talked about it. 1375. It's tapping 1450 right now. So looks like it'll be another banger right there for you guys. You're welcome, Virginia Beach. I did not hear that. I heard it was a pretty decent beach, but there you go. I am a man of the people. You are right. So if I see you on there, I'll do my best to get at you, and thank you for supporting the show.
Absolutely, as always. And Amazon tried it. The market took out the high. Amazon actually rejected the high. So once it did that, I took a little more, and my stop is still going to be at that high of the day. Lucid did break. I didn't get 51s. I got 52s. It got up to 54, 55. 54. I got one leg out almost immediately when it got to that price, and it's still holding above. That MOTS, which we were looking at, that's actually right back up to the top. We only have 4 minutes to go till the imbalances come out.
Yeah.
So, having earned it, well, Amazon for sure, that's when I'll have I'll either have a tighter stop or leave the stop in or just get out of it altogether. Same thing maybe with a Lucid reporting. But this MOTS, it might not matter as much if it takes out the high and starts running. I don't really care about the timeline of the imbalances. I care more about 350, 355, and how much time it has to maybe make a run. But a run at the high of the day and then a bit of a turnaround there, so that got me a little bit more. I still have a 140, not 14. 140 short on Amazon, giving it to that 50 level. It gets below 140 and the market rejects the top. Maybe it's a bit of a runner. Like I said, MOTS trying to take out these highs here. Hasn't happened just yet. One tick above, and I will have it to the long side. But I'm canceling that stop past 350. I kind of want that to happen with a little bit more time for it to go.
Yeah, I don't drink much, but today I might have to have something because this has been just such a wild day here. But good job. We got out of Meta and then we're back in it. We just took some profit. It's so maddening here because you get out, you get back in, and then the tank happens. There's me getting out, there's me getting back in, and there's me capturing the profit on a 70-cent or a 30-cent winner off that 169. But we already lost it on the 169 the first time around. So yeah, pretty frustrating. We'll just hold this. If it takes out the high, that's that. If not, we'll let it all run into the close and hopefully be able to make some money on that. But remember, we do have that imbalance coming out, like Neil said. So only 2.5 minutes now until that is the truth, and it does come out, and we'll see where it goes. What we're hearing right now from Financial Juice, of course, is that it's still a 400 million share offer to sell on that. So we'll see if that can come through. I don't know. I don't really hold too much weight on what these numbers produce because honestly, it's just going to move whatever the hell way it wants to be honest with you. So we're going to give this
when they matter, it's huge. 2 billion, 1.5 billion.
Or maybe it's a rebalance day,
exactly.
Or a day where something's coming in and out of an exchange or something like that. But yeah, okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get it to the downside right now. That's just so frustrating that we get stopped out at 169 and then this happens. But well, we took it back again, and this is what I mean about being frustrated. It's just it's back and forth day here. When will this market finally trend? You would think, hey, it's up 3%. What is this guy talking about? The trend's been pretty good. It has been. But but I'm just talking about this afternoon. Like you're basically right where you are at 11:30 right now. So here it is, 13,274. We just touched 13,282. So, you know, although this is what's happening, there's been a lot of opportunities to go short, but every time you went short, you know, you got taken out. And every time you went long, you probably would have won, unless, again, you got caught in the middle. So it's like going long here, you're going to get stopped out. So it's been a very, very difficult market. Trust me when we tell you this will get easier, but there's only a minute now until those imbalances come out, and then we'll really see, hopefully, the market fly one way or the other. I'm hoping to the south side, as I am now short on Meta.
Yeah, well, I mean, I put my trail in now pretty much, like, we're below 2050 on Lucid, so I put it at 45. If we were at 55 or 60, I would have put it at break even, just relatively tight. I'm not moving my stop on Amazon because we're basically right there anyways. Like 140.50 is going to have to suffice. But I wanted to pull up Nikola because I just look at what's hanging out at these highs, and every single one of these EV names that we're going to get this week has really been testing and crunching higher and had strong moves. And I know Brendan mentioned this, but this is, again, on the verge of a bit of a break here. 750 looks pretty good. You have room to the 200 period. Next resistance, $1 higher. This could be one, and I haven't traded nickel in quite some time, but this could be one that we got to be watching tomorrow above that 750 level. Someone asked in the chat, and I'll imbalances in 10 seconds, will we trade Tesla when it does the split? 100%. I mean, I trade Tesla usually once or twice a week, never every day, but that could change. We traded Google and Amazon more frequently after the split, so Tesla as well. There are the imbalances finally. Looks like the market didn't exactly jump in either direction when they came out there. But I'm seeing Apple, buy side 1.7.
Yeah, the buy's going to help.
And then snap, sell, small sell, like 1 million shares. Big cap, I'm not really seeing
AMD, I'm seeing lots of big caps. Yeah, AMD,
Bob, there we are.
yeah, AMD's down there, Microsoft's down there. They're all buys. Of course, the day that I need them to be all sells, they're all buys. So this is what I'm talking about. Intel's a buy as well. Coke is a buy. There's really no sells on here, to be honest with you. Comcast, I guess, but Comcast has been involved with a bunch of deals. AT&T, WMD, there's Microsoft. Yeah, I mean WBD, sorry. Yeah, so not too much on there, but yeah, no big deal. NBD, I don't know what did it finally come out as, Brendan just saying there. Oh, no, we don't have a final number, but definitely looks like it was to the buy side as many of these big names continue to hold it out. Look at Apple there, and again, not a big move for Apple, but we have that. These wicks, man, we got to get rid of those wicks on the chart. But there's Apple, a nice little move upside on that imbalance up to 166.55, and now a drop back in. So, okay, it looks like Meta did go up and then right back down. So right before, yeah, and now right back up. Right before the imbalances came out there, we were able to get something out there at 69. So not bad. We lost on that one for sure. We lost, and then we take a little bit back. So still negative there on Meta here, but we tried it. Didn't come through. Trying to take down this 169.10 right now. It looks like it will. Darn imbalances. You couldn't go the other way. That would have been nice. But we'll see. Still hold out hope that we don't take out that 168.10 high.
Yeah, and I'll be frustrated because what's weird, like the thing following through, guess what's actually broke the high and really made a move here in the afternoon was AMC. I came into the day with that long, and this is a psychological difference. Like if you were taking longs from the morning on the stock, you had some at like 17, 20, but what happens is you get anchored to the price that you got. So when I'm long at 18, I'm anchored to the fact that I'm long at 18, not realizing this is part of a greater move to the upside. And that's what happens when you don't just buy and hold it all day. AMC still stupid strong up here, 8%. I mean, Lucid's back toward that high, but at some point we're at 352. I'm just going to get out of Amazon, and if it has to be close to flat, then so be it. It's better than just taking even worse of a hit if the market goes higher. We still have some earnings to get to. Some we've talked about. A few we have not just yet. Brendo, what's on tap?
Just reading a comment from Elon Musk on Twitter. Doesn't look terribly exciting, though, about the trial. Yeah, let's get a look at what is to come tonight. AMC actually on this board tomorrow, but here is what is to come tonight and tomorrow morning.
Like, yeah, we get AMC tomorrow
I can't believe I wrote down AMC 17 early and didn't even have that. That was a great one, a little dip by there early on for you. Okay, so after the close, I mean, eBay always seems to be a good mover, man. I mean, that's been a name that's moved around a lot recently as well, eBay. So a name, I got caught a little bit long there on that break for Meta. But eBay, yeah, eBay a good name there. What else was on there?
There's Bob's,
Crocs, I think was on there.
And I forget the analyst. It's just like you read a bunch of stuff in the morning when you're prepping, and it's like this analyst said this. this. So I don't remember who it was, but there were analysts suggesting that Alibaba is going to have a poor quarter, but also suggesting that it could be the low. So this will be the bottom for their revenue in terms of the drop. So they're going to see a decrease in revenue potentially, is what was being said, and then they're going to maybe potentially have that bottom. This has been really strong. So we talked about this since yesterday. Some of these Chinese names have actually been pretty strong, BABA being one of them. But on earnings, the way this thing can move when it goes, it's got to be on your radar, right? Alibaba, when it trends, it is one of the best stocks out there. If you can get into that trend, you just kind of keep rinsing and repeating. Exactly what we're hoping could be happening this afternoon. I think BABA could have one of those days. You just can't, you got to accept the fact that if it's a down day on BABA, it's just going to be a down day. When it's an up day, which I've been bearish on the stock, so thankfully I didn't trade it today, it's just going to be that bearish day. So I'm not stopped out of Amazon. I just took it out myself for a 20-cent hit because it wasn't going. But I'll get some more shares out of Lucid. Not a huge move here. Looks like it's slowly gliding higher into the close. But remember, they do report aftermarket. I'm not sure what time that is, but we do get them in the PM.
Yeah, probably just after 4 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for watching, first of all. Hit the like button if you can. It's been a great show, I feel like anyways, although it's been pretty choppy. You know, we've talked about a lot of different names on there. We've shown you some of those halted names. I don't think that ENVB is going to open back up again, but let's just have a... Oh, it did open up. So ENVB did open back up, I guess... just now. I don't know when this opened up, but there's $13 again. It went as high as 14. I guess this one was only a 5-minute halt, so it did open back up again. So there's ENVB, another one. Let's just take a quick look. What was that other one? AMTD. We can have a quick...
From this morning.
Yeah, that was from this morning. So let's go over to the New York Exchange on that one. $6. So we talked about that. So a couple names flying around. The big one that I didn't trade today that I should have... I mean, the embarrassing thing is that, you know, SoFi, the trade of the day, you know, we banged that one out. That was on our sticky note down here at $7. AMC was on our sticky note as well, down at $17 today, which it basically touched and just never looked back. Ripped all the way up to 18.25. So some of these stocks that can really get going are now starting to get going. So as the market gets its juice back, like I said, the S&P about 12 to 13% off of its highs. So as this market continues to make moves, man, people getting money back in their accounts, I'm thinking, and starting to go back to play the game one more time. So we'll have to watch out for some of these big runs that we know about. GameStop, AMC, like why have we not said GameStop in what appears to be like weeks? I mean, I know they had that split. Now they're only down to $37. So again, our charts, I keep talking about this. It'd be nice to get it fixed. So we can't show you really the daily there, but still off the split. I think it went, was it 40 or 38 or something it went down to on the split there? So
it was 40 because it was at 160.
Right.
Yeah,
4 to 1. So
bucks.
The bottom there is $32 on GameStop. So if you want to talk about a name that also has had a good couple 4 days here, GameStop from the bottom of 32 up to 38. So we'll see about GameStop possibly tomorrow.
And look how damn clean that chart is. That's what gets frustrating when you didn't look at a stock and breaks high 36.80, makes fresh high 38, comes back in, holds first at 36.90, 10 cents away from the breakout price. Then when it bottoms again, 5 cents away from the breakout price. So your risk is literally 10 cents in slippage the first time to get $1. The second time it's 5 cents plus slippage with the tightest stop you could imagine, and it goes $1. And it's like, it's the one you're not watching, I'm telling you. Because the less eyeballs on it, and the greater chance that it's not going to have those stops run. If it's more exciting and more people are watching it, then when it gets to that key price, it's more likely to have enough volume to break it, and then you have to hold through that break or get back in. But you know, when it's a little bit, when AMC's taking all the attention, it feels like GameStop is the cleaner trade. And vice versa, it works as well. That's not a coincidence, by the way. Like, I think we can all understand the logic behind that. But yeah, some moves at the end of the day were pretty sick. The level you said it's been one of those. It's been one of those afternoons. But you know, this is, I get out of Amazon. I'm like, I give up. Whatever. I'm just gonna take the 20-cent hit. And now it flushes, right? So that's what's going to happen to you sometimes. There is a flush. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucid goes to $21 in the next 5 seconds because that's what it's been like this afternoon. But Amazon finally reversing because the market once again failed to break high. Strong day, afternoon, it was break at the top, fail back down. Break at the high, fail back down. All afternoon long. That's just been what's about. For me, my biggest takeaway from this, and I'm just going to reiterate it, when you're trying to play these with these runners, it was the same with HKD, it's the same thing with QNRX. If you can find yourself in a long off like the first or second big breakout where you've run stops, like short stops, like the first or second time, that's usually the one you want to hold on to. When it's that third big parabolic move, that's where shorters are going to be a little bit more confident. That's where it's way trickier to catch a long. Despite saying that, you saw me do it and lose. So, you know, sometimes the best mistakes you can learn from are the ones that aren't your own because it's free. So you get to learn from our mistakes for free, by the way. All we ask is hit that like at the end of the day. I think we had a fantastic show because there's a lot of learning to be done. And guess what? We're definitely prepared for some of those earnings. I'm going to look over my shoulder. The bell is lowered. Tony is here. So we get to smile at the end of the day to see Tony ring the bell in under a minute.
Yep, Tony back in business, so we'll see there.
Well, he's
Amazon,
always in business, but
yeah, sometimes he is. 139.50, Tesla 922, 139.50 for Amazon, Snapchat 1033, Meta 169 and moving around. AMC is going to end the day at that 1820 spot, but wow. Oh, ENVB, by the way, went up to $15. So shout out to Scott H there on the chat in Virginia Beach and all you guys out there with watching this ENVB, another low float name. I think Brendan said it was like 700,000 shares or something. So these names just continue to be on the lookout. So, and a big thank you to Bears versus Bulls today as well. I mean, the chat is always hectic, but thank you so much for monitoring that and moderating it.
He's doing a little extra work in the chat lately, and that's probably going to continue, right?
I don't know. I hope so. We definitely appreciate it. But here we go with only 2 and 1. There we go. Thank you, Tony. So there we go, man. Good job today. Very great market. I mean, up again another 2.63%. What a run today, man. Oil down 4%, like NASDAQ up 3%. I mean, Brendan's going to do this, but oil down 4% as well off of a big move here into the close. So, wow. I mean, every single asset class, crypto moving, right? So let's go over to Brendan now and get a quick review of the majors.
We had a question, guys, after the show yesterday that I just wanted to address real quick on this board. So these are the index quotes, not the actual futures contract quotes. So they might be, 1 or 2 tenths off of what you're looking at. But this is the, again, index quote for the S&P, at least the Dow and the NASDAQ. And then, yeah, crude 3.6 to the downside as well. But monster day, guys, back higher again, 2.6 for the NASDAQ.
You can also, Brett, you can also confirm this, like they're not live, right? Like you take a snapshot or did they update? 20 seconds, okay. So yeah, sometimes if you do see a little bit off there will be a 20-second delay there, I guess, in the API and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that was, wow, what an interesting day again. And we're looking to do the same tomorrow. I mean, with all these earnings, if anything flies out in the next couple of seconds, we'll definitely get it to you. But yeah, big time moves, man. 166 for Apple, great close for them. $13 off its $16 off its all-time high for Apple. What's up, Brendan?
I just saw a big move down there. Are these D prints? Yeah, they are. Okay. Had a minor heart attack there, but that is not actually happening right now. These are all D prints for Apple. There was, however, a note from the FAA on Boeing that just came across. So Boeing making a move as well, guys, regarding the 787 Dreamliner.
Yeah, they're going to meet with the agency safety inspectors, apparently. So, I mean, we got some down prints here also, but this happened at 3 o'clock in AMD as well, to the downside there. So, I already got triggered out on that SoFi. Oh, let's see where SoFi finished, actually, for the day.
Day, I bet you.
Yeah, no,
not really.
Well, I mean, it made a run there in the last 10 minutes and then gave it all back in the last, the last hour and then the last 20 minutes back down in. So, wow. Again, man, a big shout out to Fahad. I mean, Fahad's doing the whole switching by himself. We'll get Lucas back in today or tomorrow or the next day, hopefully. And then, yeah, big shout out to Brendan today. Big shout out to Neil, Trader Luca. Like, I don't know, we don't have like an official name.
It's Luca.
Luca. It's because I'm about to say Trader Prad. So thanks to Luca. Thanks Trader Prad as well on the midday show. Those guys definitely holding it down for us for a very long time. Thanks to all the traders behind us as well. I'd say thank you to somebody else, but I don't want to get in trouble. Thanks to Maggie. Thanks to Liz. Thanks to everybody that was part of the show today. So, hey.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I'm a baseball fan, so I meant to say at the beginning of the show, rest in peace, Vince Scully. Absolute legend, right? Like one of the best to call it. Like people say often that like we're kind of like sports commentators and we try to do that for the market. It's a lot of fun, but that guy was
I'll one up you.
He was the best of the best.
I'll one up you. Rest in peace, Bill Russell. over the weekend.
as well.
So
That was the other,
obviously, yeah, probably.
Legends, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Bill Russell is probably noted as, I mean, I think he would be top 5 probably of all time for basketball. So shout out to all that. You guys obviously trailblazers, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. I don't know if there's anybody around nowadays that's going to be remembered like that, but you know, definitely. I mean, there's a few guys, obviously. Yeah. By the way, how many home runs does Judge have right now? Like
a trillion.
Like
so what's
40 already?
What's going to happen?
Judge
is going to retake that 61 this year.
Wow.
And then he's going to be like everyone's going to be like he's the guy, like he's got the real record because he's unbelievable.
I guess he does have.
I was fortunate enough to see him take BP at the Rogers Center with Stanton.
Yeah.
I have never seen people do what those two guys did in batting practice. It was a show. I could have just left the stadium before the game started. That's how good those two were.
We just got a big trade alert over here. So it was on, what stock was it? I don't know what it was, Run or something like that. So we'll get, I don't think there's any major earnings out right now. Okay, we got to wrap this up. It's your trade of the day is going to be coming in. SoFi was a banger. It was off this. PayPal also, AMC also, big time. A lot of action behind us. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, I'm Sean, that's Brendan, that's Neil. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. Don't miss it. Wake up early. See you then.
Money.